What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show, and happy 2026. We are keeping the cozy winter vibes going. We're covering a big one today.
It's fucking cold.
It is absolutely cold. And I want to thank you, Jason, for coming over today to record this episode with me. Or have you always been here?
Yeah.
We're talking about The Shining from 1980, y'all. I'm Dusty Lane.
I'm Jason Mitchell.
And we are the Cinebytes.
We've always been here.
Hello?
I came for you. We have such sights to show you.
It was an excellent day for an exorcism.
I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in.
I want to play a game.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was. This is God.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
But sometimes that is better.
Welcome back to Oblivion, everyone. As stated up top, we are talking about the motherfucking Shining.
The Shining.
The Shining from 1980.
Shining.
Of course, directed by Stanley Kubrick, written by someone, a little-known author you might have heard of, Stephen King. I'm going to do my best in this episode to flip-flop back and forth between, obviously we're going to cover the movie front to back like we always do. But at the same time, I want to, point out here and there, either differences or similarities in the book and the 1997 made-for-TV remake.
Made for TV. That sounds so fucking terrible.
It's fine for what it is. It's definitely a lot closer to the book. It's way more faithful. Stephen King actually wrote the screenplay for that. And it was directed by Mick Garris, who also did Creepshow, among other horror things that, we would all recognize.
Right.
But I also want to, here and there, have you watched the Room 237 documentary?
A little bit. It was so fucking goofy to me.
It was goofy. And here's the thing. A lot of people watch that thing thinking, oh man, I never realized Stanley Kubrick intended all of these things when he made this movie. That's crazy. There's just layers upon layers, and holy shit, he fucking faked the moon landing, and this is the room he did it in?
I was like, yeah,
oh
no
my
way.
goodness, there's an eagle on the typewriter, and it's a German brand, so this is about the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Just going off about all this shit. But they tell you in the beginning of the documentary, hey man, listen, this isn't this doesn't have anything reflecting on Stanley Kubrick's views.
Right.
Doesn't have anything to do with the filmmakers. We just collected a bunch of fucking conspiracy theorists, and here they are to tell you about what they think The Shining is about.
Right.
I will say though, you watch that fucking documentary and then watch this movie, there's some interesting things happening, man. They kind of you look at it in a different light, maybe I don't know. But so yeah, of course, the book written by Stephen King, of course. But then we go to the screenplay for this movie was adapted from the book by Stanley Kubrick and a novelist, an English novelist, I believe, named Diane Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into what that means for this movie, but let's go through a little the rest of our spec sheet here that we always like to go through. Kubrick?
Yeah.
Dude, we could be here for fucking...
Yeah. 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange,
Right.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've never seen Eyes Wide Shut, but every time I read something about it, it makes me want to check it out.
All of the above are bangers. I mean, you would enjoy it. There's all kinds of titties all through it.
Oh,
it's
hell
fucking
yeah.
just masquerade orgies all over the place, basically.
Right. But
I don't remember a ton about it other than that. Honestly.
it's got fucking Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That's a bad
know.
thing for you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I'm not crazy about Tom Cruise either. He's
Popular opinion, I guess.
fine. He went kind of crazy for a while, maybe. But I respect the shit out of the fact that he does his own crazy ass fucking stunts.
Oh, that's sick. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's, a lot of people say that too, and I'm like, well, fuck. The paycheck alone would probably be enough. That probably has something to do with it.
Right.
Right?
Have you ever noticed his middle tooth?
Yeah. That's part of why I don't like him.
Weird
Weird
right
looking.
there. He's like a gorgeous fucking man, but at the same time, as soon as you notice that, you can't unsee it, and you're like, fucking, what is going on, man? Yeah, obviously Kubrick made fucking banger after banger. I think The Shining came out kind of on the heels of Barry Lyndon, which people always mention as a gorgeous fucking movie, but is boring as fuck.
Okay.
So, but obviously, yeah, Clockwork Orange is fucking crazy. Full Metal Jacket is amazing. I've never seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I definitely want to check it out. I'm probably going to do that pretty soon here.
It's a strange one. I don't know.
I fucking
all
bet.
this stuff's fucking strange.
It's
you know?
Kubrick. Yeah, what do you
it's all
mean?
strange.
But let's move on to studios involved here. We've got the Producer Circle Company, Peregrine Productions, and Hawk Films. That's interesting. Peregrine and Hawk.
Hawk, eagles, you know?
Peregrine Falcon is not the same thing as a hawk, but distributed by Warner Bros. US, and then in the UK, Columbia EMI Warner distributors. Rated R, we got some blood, we got some boobies, we got some fucking a family in peril.
Kinda.
I think it could have almost been PG-13, to be honest with you.
It's not that bad. There's only a little bit of boobs, and then they turn gross real fast.
Yeah, we get pretty boobs, and then we get gross boobs, and that's pretty much it as far as
bush
movies.
for a second, not a big deal.
That's probably more so the thing is that because I think don't quote me on this, but I think if you have a PG-13 movie, you can have like one fuck in it, and you can have maybe like a set of boobs.
Okay, I guess I didn't really think about.
I could be totally fucking wrong on that, but like it's limited in how far you can go.
Right.
As to how, obviously it's
Jack cusses quite a bit.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
Fuck is thrown all over this movie. But I was going to make the point of the full frontal nudity specifically. Like her entire front side is exposed.
Right.
So,
Cool.
Runtime, there are a couple of different versions of this. The one I watched was 146 minutes. Not that bad. About 2 hours and 20-ish.
Yeah, I think that's about what mine was. We'll find out in a minute, huh?
For the setting in this, in the book, obviously, the Overlook Hotel is modeled after the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, which is northwest of Denver and Boulder. So, like, tippy top of Colorado, basically. The hotel exterior we see in the film is actually the Timberline Lodge in Mount Hood, Oregon.
Oh, shit.
Most of the interiors we see were filmed on sets built at Elstree Studios in England, but inspired by the Ahwahnee Hotel in Yosemite, California. Wow. That's where we get all the Native American elements going on in the, the lobby, the Colorado Lounge you walk through, and everything's all fucking super Native American-y.
So can you go visit this place? And if you do, which one would you go to?
You can absolutely visit all three, the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, the Timberline Lodge in Mount Hood, Oregon, and the Ahwahnee Hotel in California. So, like, obviously the Ahwahnee's not going to look exactly like it. It was just kind of modeled after it.
Right.
But if you look at the front of the Timberline, it's going to look like what you see in the movie, except for they added, like, a tall, like, central spire to the hotel.
Oh, okay.
For the exterior shots. The Stanley Hotel is actually what they used to film the remake at. It's actually filmed at the Stanley.
Well, god damn it. So you can't really... You're not going to go... Ouch. I just thought it was in fucking Colorado, man. You could go see it.
Yeah, I would like to, at some point stay at, or at least visit the Stanley Hotel, because that's where Stephen King stayed that inspired him to write the book. Okay. There was some story about he was staying in room 217, actually, and he woke up in the middle of the night and went wandering through the hotel and had these, like, crazy feelings just creeping him the fuck out. I wonder if it was just the fact that he's wandering through an old building, all these liminal spaces he's walking through, making him uncomfortable. He also said something about, like, having a bad dream. I can't remember what it had to do with, but, he and his wife stayed there, and then immediately he was like, I gotta write a fucking book about this, and that became The Shining.
Okay.
We also get a brief visit to the Torrance's apartment in Boulder, Colorado, which is an actual apartment complex, the Kensington Apartments in Boulder. And then the opening shots driving to the hotel were filmed in parts of Glacier National Park in Montana. But for all intents and purposes, northern Colorado is our main setting here. We've got the Torrance family who moves into an isolated hotel in the snowy Rocky Mountains over the winter. But there's more than boilers and hedge mazes to watch out for, it turns out. Dun, dun, dun.
Fucking Jack's a whiny bitch. He gets to walk around all day, work on your book when you want to.
Yeah,
just
not do any of the fucking work that you were supposed to come there to do because your wife is fucking doing it.
I was gonna say, she's like checking. She got a clipboard at the one point checking on the electrical.
She's the only one who does dick this entire time.
And he's fucking, you know what? I'm just going to have a little fucking freak out here. I'm going to kill everybody.
Yeah, and he's not even doing the other thing that he's supposed to be doing, which is writing.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he's tapping away on the fucking on the typewriter, but at the same time, once it's discovered what's actually been written down, what the fuck, man? So he's literally been doing nothing.
He's got an Atari in one of the rooms, and he's just been dicking off.
Did they have Ataris in 1980?
I think before that, right?
I mean, I don't know. He mentioned something about Danny bombing the universe in the games room, but I didn't see a fucking arcade machine in there either.
I didn't see one. I figured that was like Asteroid or something.
Yeah, Galaga.
Yeah, Atari came out in 1977.
There you go. You could at least be playing some fucking Pong or something.
The Atari 2600. I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which might have been a later version of it? Was Atari earlier then?
Bigger one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That's before fucking my time for sure.
Well, let's get into our relatively small cast list here. Obviously, we've got Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to mention Danny Torrance next because he's played by Danny Lloyd. Those two got lucky as fuck, being able to just be characters that are their actual names.
Right away, I was kind of like, all right, the Danny thing, I was like, maybe that was kind of on purpose because I read something about he was a really great actor.
Yeah.
Being a child. And something about they chose him because of his ability to be able to focus.
For sure.
Because he was a little kid and a lot of little kids are running around and shit. He was able to sit there, listen to him. I also read something about Kubrick was really careful with him on set and like prevented him from knowing it was a horror movie or something. So they were really, we said tiptoeing about something earlier, but tiptoeing around, keeping him unaware so it doesn't fuck up his acting.
I wonder how, like, did they do it in a way that like he thought he was doing a drama? So obviously like things are supposed to be silly. It would have been funnier though. It would have been funnier though if they were like, oh no, we're just making this funny movie and they made it like that. Have you ever seen the trailer somebody cut of like it's scenes from The Shining, but it's like supposed to be a romantic comedy? And it's like there's this fucking like the trailer dude Shining, and then it's this fucking like Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hills playing in the background, and it's like it's just such a fucking silly funny thing, dude. You should definitely check it out. No, send me on my way. No. No. It's climbing up on Salisbury Hill. But it's dude, it's so fucking funny. If you have not seen that trailer, search up, whatever, funny Shining trailer. It'll pop up. Watch that fucking thing. Laugh your ass off for a minute. Because, like, it's so great the way... It's like the reverse of the Mrs. Doubtfire trailer.
Right.
Where they make that into a horror film.
Right.
They make The Shining into a comedy, and it's fantastic. But I agree. Danny Lloyd is great. I used to kind of hate this little shit. Like, God, he fucking kind of grosses me out. He weirds me out, whatever. Watching some of the behind-the-scenes stuff with him, he's like... this bright, happy kid, and he's talking about like, oh no, I didn't know I was going to be making any money from this, but it's pretty cool, whatever. And he's just this cool little kid. But yeah, when he fucking snaps into his acting brain, he is pretty fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Torrance, Nicholson, of course. Stephen King both complimented his performance in this movie, but also hated the way that Kubrick went with it, because he was like, he's not supposed to be fucking crazy from the jump. He's supposed to be like this loving father that, maybe he's made a couple of mistakes, but at the same time, he's trying to make good, but then the hotel fucking makes him crazy. But in this, it's fucking like just it being Jack Nicholson's face.
Yeah.
And his fucking crazy ass eyebrows.
Yeah, it makes him look pissed.
He's always pissed through the entire fucking movie.
That's what I was saying. Like, I note that all over the place. I'm like, wow, what a fucking asshole. It's just...
Well, you should have eaten your breakfast.
Right.
You little shit.
You just need to get used to writing every day again. That's all.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is, Wendy.
Yeah, you would know, wouldn't you, bitch?
For sure. Yeah. Dude, yeah.
But that's what Stephen King took issue with, was like, you have to have the chance to see him being broken down by the hotel.
Right.
Let's move on to Wendy Torrance, Winifred, played by Shelley Duvall, which, dude, I think she's fucking great in this movie. I think she's great in everything that I've seen her in. Have you ever seen Popeye with Robin Williams, dude? She was fucking crafted in a factory somewhere to play Olive Oyl.
Right.
It's fucking wild.
Strange.
But she was good in this.
Yeah.
At the same time, people raise the questions of like, oh, was it her acting ability or was it Kubrick fucking and the torture that he put her through on set here that, achieved the performance that we get in the final film?
Making her cry and shit or what?
Oh yeah, dude. He was fucking like instructing the rest of the crew and stuff. Like, don't sympathize with her. Like, he wanted her to be uncomfortable as possible on set so that, when the camera was on her, that was, bleeding through onto it.
Which is, dude, that's why people do that shit where they kind of get into character and stuff, because you can't do that to somebody.
Right.
Did she talk about it afterwards?
Oh,
She fucking scarred from it?
Well, here's the thing. Like, during filming, she was like pretty ill, like sick all the time, like not feeling well, losing fucking hunks of hair and shit.
Because they were treating her so bad?
Yeah, and her and Stanley Kubrick would like go back and forth, like go at it a little bit. And afterwards, I saw in the behind the scenes stuff that like she was like, well, you know what? We had different approaches to the same, end goal in mind. And we got there. And at this point, I really respect Stanley and I really like him for it. So like, that sounds like fucking Stockholm Syndrome to me, dude.
Right. You know, I love the guy. Beat the hell out of me, but...
Yeah, I don't feel like that's necessary. Like, you hired this actress because of what you believed her ability to be.
Right.
So then why insist on, making it more, I don't know. It's just a little much for me.
That type of directing isn't a thing anymore.
Right.
Thing was
fucking
gone.
thank God, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so up next we've got Dick Halloran, played by a fucking scat man, beat-da-ba-ba-da-boop. Scatman Crothers.
Mrs. Torrance.
You got to keep regular if you want to be happy.
Yeah.
He's great. He's fucking fantastic. All of the iterations of Dick Halloran throughout adaptations of this character, I think, have been great, including the new It, Welcome to Derry.
Okay.
Dick Halloran is a very important character in the Stephen King connected universe, it turns out. He survived fucking Pennywise. He survived a fucking fire caused by racism, basically, when he was living in Maine, and then he fucking, gets out of that whole mess and makes his way to Colorado to be a fucking chef at a hotel, and then all this shit starts going down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. We've also got Stuart Ullman, played by Barry Nelson. He's like the general manager of the hotel.
Yep.
We've got Bill Watson, played by Barry Dennen, who's this kind of enigmatic figure that like joins Mr. Ullman for the interview.
Right.
But he doesn't really say too much. He's just kind of like side-eyeing Jack the whole time. Like, I'm not sure about this motherfucker.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot. Just kind of walks with him for a bit.
But I've got a thought about him because of his last name I'll get into in a little bit here.
Okay.
We've also got Delbert Grady, played by Philip Stone.
Yeah, Grady. He's a nice guy.
Is he? I don't know that I agree with that at all. He's a polite Brit.
Yeah, dude, he's cool.
But other than that, his fucking intentions are not pure.
Well, we hear a story about him, but I don't think it's true. Because obviously...
Okay, what else do we hear come straight out of his mouth, though? That's a fucking problem.
Oh,
we'll talk about that later.
Yep.
Twice.
Yeah, they lay it on thick. I knew you'd like that.
Yeah.
3 in a row.
Jesus fucking Christ. In like 30 seconds.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. We'll talk about it. We've got the bartender Lloyd, played by Joe Turkel, but it was originally supposed to be Harry Dean Stanton cast in the role, but he was busy with Alien.
Oh, shit.
So that would have been interesting for sure. I mean, I think this guy's fantastic.
Yeah, no, he does a good job.
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else, but whatever.
Oh, it's kind of creepy,
Yeah.
Kind of quiet.
I like this character.
Strange.
Yeah. We've got the doctor/child psychologist that comes over and checks on Danny and Jackson.
The doctor.
We've got Mr. Durkin, the gas station owner, played by Tony Burton, who was Rocky's cornerman in the Rocky films.
Fucking Larry.
Larry Durkin, yeah. I also wanted to mention some of the ghosts in the hotel. We've got the young woman ghost in 237, played by Leah Beldam, who was, I believe, a Swiss model.
Nice.
And we've also got the old woman ghost, played by Billy Gibson. I think this character is supposed to be Mrs. Massey from the book that ends up committing suicide in one of the rooms.
Okay.
And she's got this little, like, college-aged boy toy that fucking she's doing drugs with, and he ends up fucking bailing on her, which is why she does herself in.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got the Grady, and then in air quotes, I'm going to say twins.
All right.
Because, well, we'll get into it in a little bit, but they're played by
8 and 10, right?
Yeah, Ullman says they're 8 and 10. So yeah, obviously, if they're twins, that's the longest fucking labor in the history of the world.
They just happen to be similar in size,
right.
I think.
Played by Lisa and Louise Burns. Cinematography in this movie handled by John Alcott, but the Steadicam shots were handled by Garrett Brown, who invented the Steadicam.
Oh, shit.
Also used in Halloween and operated by Brown in that, as well as many movies. Fantastic shit, obviously, when we're following Danny around when he's riding on his big wheel and stuff. It's all great.
Is that like, is it like a camera on a fucking cart?
It's like, it's a harness that attaches to the person so they can walk around with it on them.
Oh,
but
the camera's behind you.
But it's, no. It's, you put it on, the camera is in front of you, but it's like suspended by fucking like springs or some shit to keep it like, I didn't invent it. I don't know how it works exactly, but yeah, basically it stays level. It's kind of like one of those, what are those things called that we were thinking about getting for the pod when we're doing video
it's
stuff?
On the little fucking, like it stays upright no matter what. You can move the thing around.
Exactly.
It's gonna stay, I got you.
Exactly. So yeah, he, could run behind Danny while he was on his big wheel and it was steady instead of jostling around. So that's pretty great. We talked about it a little bit when we did the Halloween episode.
It's like the Walkmans that we used to have. It's got
the non-skip?
Yeah, it's got anti-skip protection, dude. He just hits the little button and then...
Perfect. Holy shit, when's the last time you thought about a Walkman, man?
That
wasn't a thing on the tape Walkmans, on the cassette Walkmans. But when they switched over to the CD Walkmans.
Right, yeah, tape don't skip. Fucking CDs.
Yeah, tape doesn't skip, but it fucking warps and like warbles and shit. Oh, God.
Get too hot.
Speaking of tapes and CDs, music handled by Wendy Carlos and Rachel Elkind in this movie.
It's very orchestral.
Yeah, some choral shit going on. Some, I think a lot of it is more sound design than actually score.
Yeah.
So we've got like screechy sounds and whatever else, you know.
Fucking weird horns, pianos or something.
Also, we've got special effects. It was hard to find out like who was really in charge of that, but I've got 4 names written down here. John Bunker, Les Hillman, Malcolm Mott, and Nick Maley.
Okay.
I also wrote down a couple taglines. Iconic terror from the #1 best-selling writer.
Yeah.
Also, a masterpiece of modern horror. And the UK release one had a fun one. The tide of terror that swept America is here.
Nice.
And I guess the all work and no play line is sort of a tagline.
Right.
A little bit of background on this. So Kubrick had wanted to direct a horror film for quite some time, but actually turned down the opportunity to direct The Exorcist.
What?
I found that extremely interesting. I'd never heard that before. But a Warner Brothers exec, John Calley, sent Kubrick proofs of the Stephen King novel, who had been previously enjoying success from Carrie and other adaptations.
Right.
Obviously, he's one of the most prolific horror writers and easily the one who's had the most adaptations of his work on the big screen. But Kubrick agreed to jump on board this adaptation with the caveat that he could change the details of the novel, which was obviously a point of contention for Stephen King. But Kubrick brought on novelist Diane Johnson to help develop the screenplay, and the rest is history, man.
Nice.
You ready to jump into this fucker or what?
Yeah, dude.
What's the over-under on how long this fucking episode's gonna be? 6, 7 hours?
It's gonna be a long one.
All right, well, let's get the fuck into it. Obviously, our opening, we get these helicopter shots over the water and through the mountains at Glacier National Park, while the Dies Irae plays with added sound as well.
That was my first question was, these have to be helicopter shots, right? I was like, what else could they fucking be?
Yeah, drones didn't exist back then.
Right. And it's
angels, Jason.
It fucking really reminds me, you see it all over the place now, and one part of me says this is really beautiful, but the longer that it's in this shot and as the camera starts to roll, I feel like I'm on a fucking roller coaster, and I'm like,
oh man, getting a little motion sickness?
Kind of like, not really sickness, just feel like, I don't know. You ever have that dream where you're like falling?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like,
I can see that, sure.
awesome shots though.
Especially depending on how big big your screen is.
Right.
Oh man, you should watch this in VR, bro.
That'd be crazy.
The opening credits roll as we follow behind this yellow Volkswagen to the Overlook.
Volkswagen.
This is Jack. Volkswagen. Jack is alone here on his way up to the Overlook. Are we supposed to be like an entity of some kind tracking him to the hotel?
Just fucking like kind of Evil Dead-ish.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know?
I mean, at any rate, it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Very ominous as well, though, with this music putting in the work.
Why did they pick a yellow Volkswagen Bug? That seems like a strange choice to me. It's just what it is.
It's not at all a strange choice, and I will explain it in due time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I don't like, no offense to anybody, but I'm like, that's a stupid looking car. And I mean, dude,
it was the 70s, man. They were pretty popular back then.
I don't know. It just seemed strange choice. Yeah, I want to hear it.
Well, we finally see the exterior of the hotel, and we get a bunch of, info cards throughout this movie telling us, when in the process we are. So this is the very first one we get, and it's just the interview. Jack walks through the hotel lobby, lots of Native American art and decor around. He asks the receptionist where Ullman's office is, and he walks in. This is one of the first things that they point out in that Room 237 documentary. As he walks into Ullman's office, he kind of like hooks a left, and as you're going into that room, back in the distance, you can see a hallway leading to the left.
Mm-hmm.
But then when he walks, pulls a right after he, goes through the general manager's office and then into Ullman's, there's a big window at the back of his office that can't be there. If there's a hallway back behind, that window can't exist.
Oh, I didn't even really...
Yeah.
it's all quick.
There's a bunch of inconsistencies, as if this place is fucking Hogwarts and the halls and staircases move around and shit. You know?
So the question is, was it something that was overlooked, or was it something that was done on purpose?
Was it overlooked?
Right. Nice. Or, was it a budget thing? Or is it there to try and
Is it trying to fuck with you?
Is it trying to confuse you?
Yeah, exactly. We'll never know. But Jack walks into Ullman's office and introduces himself, and as well as to Secretary Susie, who only appears twice in this movie.
Fucking Suze.
He tells him he made the trip in 3.5 hours, and Ullman asks Susie to go get some coffee and go grab the enigmatic Bill Watson. There's an establishing shot here of the Torrance apartment in Boulder, which, like I said, is apparently a real apartment complex, but for some reason it looks a lot like a matte painting backdrop.
Kind of.
It just looks fake to me for whatever reason. But we cut inside to Wendy and Danny, who are sitting there. Danny's got a little Sammy, and they're watching something on TV. Wendy's actually reading The Catcher in the Rye right here.
Okay.
She's, asking him, "Aren't you excited, Doc?" And we get the introduction to Tony here.
Right.
He's certainly not excited, but Danny's like, "Well, yeah, I guess so, whatever. There's hardly anybody to play with around here anyway."
Wendy lights her first cigarette in the movie, and it never goes out until the end.
She never doesn't have a cigarette in her hand.
Right.
But Danny's weird little scratchy voice for Tony and his little finger wiggle he does when he's doing it. He's like, "No, I ain't Mrs. Torrance. I don't want to go to the hotel."
Right. That's weird that that Wendy kind of talks about Tony to Danny as if he's a real person. So if this was something that you were trying to get rid of because it's kind of strange, you would think that she wouldn't treat him like it's his friend already.
Some kids have imaginary friends sometimes, and that's all she thinks this is. It turns out it's not. It's real as fuck.
I was gonna say,
and
I thought they were trying to kind of like, yeah, this is kind of weird. We don't want to deal with this.
I actually had something similar. I think I was kind of a Danny Torrance when I was a child, because when I was younger, probably around 5-ish, something like that.
Oh boy.
I had what my parents thought was an imaginary friend, and I called it Megan. And yeah. So turns out my family had done a bunch of fucking around with a Ouija board back in the day. And it was like my dad, mom, sister, uncle, like my grandma. They were all around for the shit.
Right.
And they kept little journals about what was going on. Well, it turns out whatever I was fucking talking to that I called Megan, because it was the closest thing that I could equate to a real name, ended up revealing itself to them as Magog, which is a biblical fucking demonic entity.
Cool, dude.
But here's the fucking thing, man. They tell me, back in the day, there was all kinds of weird shit going on after they started fucking with it. My uncle asked how he was going to die.
Oh, yeah.
And it told him a nervous breakdown, which makes total fucking sense for my uncle. He's always nervous about everything, it seems.
Oh, shit.
But the way it spelled it out, it was like NER, NERV, NERVO, NERVOUS. And it fucking like spelled it out like that, like it was nervous. It also mentioned that me and my grandma were both reincarnated from fucking Egyptian times. She was hanged for something, and I died of an STD, apparently. But there was goofy shit that they were talking about at that point. Like, one day my cousin woke up with scratches all over her back. One day I woke up with a big gouge taken out of the wall above my head or some shit. I don't have any memories of this, but this is what I was told by my family. So imaginary friend or not, I don't know. Maybe something was happening.
Maybe we crossed paths on purpose, dude.
But we'll get into who Tony is.
This is all Satan's plan, Dusty.
The Torrance parents think that it's an imaginary friend, but we learn different later. We definitely learn different from the book. We're not really told who he is in the movie. I don't think we're even told in the remake, actually, but we'll get there. we'll get there. But yeah, he's Danny's like, yeah, I guess we'll have fun, whatever. He's not really convinced, but Tony's like, fuck that, I don't want to go. So we have that little interaction with Wendy and Danny.
Fuck you.
Quit wiggling your finger at me, dude. But we cut back to the hotel where Bill Watson now walks into Ullman's office, and he's always looking like kind of side-eyeing Jack, like skeptically. It feels like something else is going on. And this is where I wonder, okay, so there are a couple of people from the book that aren't really definitely not mentioned in this, and they're only kind of briefly mentioned in the remake.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for a while, because of that Horace Derwent, the character, was the one that commissioned the building of the hotel, but I had to go back and dig a little bit, and it was not him. He owned the hotel in the 40s and 50s. But the guy that actually commissioned the building of the hotel was a guy named Robert Townley Watson. So this Bill Watson fella, I wonder, is he related? Does he have a vested interest in, the welfare of the hotel because he's related to the guy that built it, maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
He always seems to be like looking out of the corner of his eye at Jack, though. Like, I don't know about this dude.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of, he's leaving somebody alone in your building. This guy should be all right.
I don't know, man. Look at those fucking eyebrows, dude. I'm not convinced.
Right. He's got this fucking smug look to him.
He does. But Ullman asks Bill to take Jack around the grounds when they finish the interview, which Ullman ends up doing anyway. And here's where Jack explains he's a writer. He's been teaching to make ends meet. And he's like, I'm looking for a change. And then Ullman says that their people in Denver recommended Jack highly, and for once he agrees. That is not the case in the remake or the book. He's a fucking smarmy prick to Jack from the jump, Ullman is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not Mr. Friendly.
Right. We get the information that the season for the hotel runs from May 15th to October 30th. And I'm like, fucking what, dude? Why can't we go out on a bang and have a cool Halloween party the next night, dude? Like, come on. Clean up in the first few days of November and let's fucking have some fun.
I didn't even think about that right away. I was kind of like, it's a fucking ski lodge? And you're
No,
fucking,
it's not.
I was going to say, that's what it kind of seemed like to me. And that's kind of what Jack says too. Like,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why in the fuck aren't you open during the fucking winter?
Yeah.
Look where we are.
Well, yeah, he asks why no skiing, and Ullman explains, well, it would cost too much. There's a 25-mile stretch of road that gets 20 feet of snow in the winter, and they just fucking can't.
Yeah, that's insane.
And when the place was built, he mentions there was very little interest in winter sports, and the location was chosen for its seclusion and scenic beauty,
Right.
which it has plenty of.
Yeah, not actually a ski lodge. It's just prime spot for a fucking ski lodge.
It would be amazing skiing, but you can't fucking get to it.
Right.
But apparently nobody in Denver told him anything about the job, really, and Ullman kind of spells it out for him. He's like, listen, the winters are fantastically cruel. Make sure you run the boiler, heat different parts of the hotel, repair damage as it occurs, so that the elements can't get a foothold and fucking crumble this thing into the ground by spring.
Right. Pretty fucking simple. Upkeep.
Yeah.
So switch the heaters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, heat this. Don't let anything freeze over.
Right.
You get fucking crazy cold up here.
Which, I mean, if Jack is A, a school teacher, and B, a writer, how handy is he? Do you know that he has the ability to do any of this
I
shit?
thought that too. Like, what if it's like some fucking roof shit?
Right.
Well,
Well,
you might need a hand. even.
in the remake, he actually does go up on the roof to fucking reshingle some shit, and that's where he discovers a hornet's nest or a wasp nest, and he gets fucked up by that and brings it into the hotel, and then it fucks up Danny.
Damn.
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
it's crazy. But everything that Ullman's telling him about what he's supposed to do, Jack's like, oh, well, that sounds fine to me, like with a big fake smile.
Yeah, it's probably paying him a shit ton, dude.
But Ullman's like, physically, it's not a very demanding job, but hey, man, just don't go fucking crazy, okay? Isolation and cabin fever can get the better of you. And he's like, oh, well, it just so happens that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm outlining a new writing project, and 5 months of peace and quiet are exactly what I need. We never really get an explanation as to what he's writing, but in the book and remake, he's a playwright
Okay.
that ends up ditching that idea for his play when he finds a bunch of articles about the hotel's history in the basement. So now he wants to write a book about the Overlook.
Oh, okay.
But
That would
Ullman,
make a little more sense, actually. You know, I mean,
yeah, why not?
that's why he's going crazy. Thinking
Yeah.
about this fucking place.
Yeah, and all of the possibilities of everything around us. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But Ullman warns him that the isolation can become a problem, and he's like, oh, not for me or my family. Don't worry about it.
My Jack Nicholson.
But hey, one last thing. 10 years ago, the caretaker, Charles Grady.
Oh, yeah. One little tidbit of information.
Well, I said Charles like that because there's a duality going on here that's never really cleared up. They mention that his name is Charles Grady. He lost his shit and killed his wife and 2 little girls who were 8 and 10, by the way, so not twins.
Right.
They just dress really similar for some reason, and one is growing faster than the other, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Charles.
Yeah, Charles. They call him Charles Grady in the beginning of this. Later, we're introduced to a character named Delbert Grady. So are these 2 different people, or is it the idea that, you know, toward the end of the movie, we get the idea that Jack has always been here, and then we get the proof in the photo. So is it just like reincarnation, multiple entities of the same soul or something that are just drawn back to this hotel?
That's a lot more interesting than just saying maybe his middle name was Charles.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah, Delbert, Chuck, Grady.
Whoever it was, Charles or Delbert, he fucking went absolutely batshit, axed his family, stacked him neatly in a room in the West Wing, and then put both barrels of a shotgun in his mouth.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Do you think the isolation would get to you? I don't know if I'd kill everybody.
I don't know, man. I feel like I could have enough other things around to entertain me. But here's the thing. If the hotel's haunted and things are fucking with me, then I don't have much of a choice. Maybe that would, I don't know. I don't know. You don't know until you're in the situation, right?
Does he have cabin fever? He must.
But I like that Ullman mentions that he sounded like a completely normal individual, but at some point during the winter, he must have suffered a complete mental break and ran amok. He mentions, cabin fever can occur when people are shut in together over long periods of time. And Jack's like, well, that certainly is quite a story. I understand why your people in Denver left it for you to tell me, but rest assured, that's not going to happen with me. And my wife will be fascinated. She's a confirmed ghost story and horror film addict.
Yeah, dude.
So where's the evidence of that, though? Is it ever mentioned? I can't remember the book well enough to know if that was a thing.
I've seen this movie a million times, and I don't remember noticing that ever until this watch through. I was like, horror movie stuff. So I was like,
yeah. This is the only suggestion we get to that, though.
I was going to say they should have had, like, The Exorcist on the TV for a second.
Or something.
You know?
Right, yeah.
Kind of unnecessary.
Well, we cut to Danny brushing his teeth, and he's talking to Tony, and he's like, hey, do you think Dad's going to get the job? And Tony's like, he already did. He's going to phone Wendy up in a few minutes to tell her. And right the fuck on cue, dude. The phone rings. Okay, little psychic boy, I see you.
Right. He bots to call, huh? All right.
She picks the phone up. She's like, hi, babe. Or he says, hi, babe. She goes, hi, hon. How's it going? And Jack tells her he's got some things to finish up at the hotel. Probably won't be home until 9 or 10. Yeah, right. You're going to be up with your gross, rotten old lady girlfriend in 237, aren't you?
Not yet.
I know what you're fucking doing. You're not coming home until all hours of the night getting drunk and fucking ghosts.
Yeah, Tony doesn't want to go to the hotel, but won't tell, you know.
Well, this is one of the first times I noticed the theme of the number 42 showing up in various places. Some people have theories about that. Danny's wearing a shirt right now with the number 42 on the sleeve. More mentions later.
Really?
And he goes, Danny's asking, he's like, Tony, how come you don't want to go to the hotel? And he's like, I don't want to tell you. And then we get the blood elevator vision for the first time.
Fucking blood elevator, telepathic jump scare.
Yeah, Danny just gets a mental flash of the fucking blood rushing out of the elevator. And the Grady girl's in here as well. And then there's a quick shot of him screaming silently, of course. But then we cut to this doctor showing up at the apartment, checking Danny out in his little undies.
Yeah.
And she asks him if he remembers smelling anything funny, or did you see any bright flashing lights or anything like that? He's like, nah, nothing like that. Just a couple dead girls in a bloody elevator hallway. No big deal.
Smell anything funny?
Jesus Christ. For the audience that can't see at home, Jason just sniffed his fingers. Because he's fucking gross. Anyway, he's like, nah, I didn't see nothing. And she goes, well, do you remember brushing your teeth? What's the next thing you remember after that? And Danny's like, my mom was just yelling, Danny, wake up, wake up. And she's like, okay, what were you doing before brushing your teeth? And he says he was talking to Tony. She's like, who the fuck is Tony?
Hey, Tony.
And his explanation is he's the little boy that lives in my mouth. Fucking what?
Yeah, when he hides in my stomach.
Come again? Yeah. She goes, oh, can I see him? No, he hides in my stomach. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's super strange.
Between this and the Playgirl Jack is reading later with an article about incest in it, I don't know. There's another rabbit hole to go down.
Ew.
But Wendy explains this is Danny's imaginary friend. But speaking of rabbits, I do like Danny's Bugs Bunny shirt.
Dude, shit, yeah. All the stuff in here is cool just because it's old.
Right.
You know?
But the doctor asks Tony if he ever asks if Tony ever tells Danny to do things. Ooh, Danny clams up. He's like, I don't want to talk about Tony anymore.
Yeah, good on the Tony talk, thanks.
What the fuck? She's like, all right, well, stay in bed quietly for the rest of the day. And he's like, do I have to? And she says, bitch, did I stutter? Now, importantly here, Wendy and the doctor leave the room to talk. Earlier, when we panned through Danny's room and into the bathroom to watch him brushing his teeth, we pan by his bedroom door, and there's all these like cartoon character stickers all over it, including one of Dopey the dwarf, and it's the last one you see as you pan away from the door.
Right.
Now, after he has this vision, and the doctor comes over to talk to him, Wendy and the doctor walk out of the room, and that dopey sticker is no longer there.
Right.
Suggesting that he is now no longer a dope. He's no longer dopey. He's now enlightened. He now sees that there's something fucking crazy going on with this hotel, and there's something to what Tony's talking about.
That's possible. It's another one of those things where I'm like, would somebody take the time to do that? Or was it done on purpose? Was it something that was shot 2 different times and just overlooked?
It is very...
Was it overlooked, like the hotel?
It is very, very unlikely that things in Stanley Kubrick movies are ever overlooked. Very, very little would get past him in his filmmaking because he was a filmmaker that he would take multiple... When I say multiple, I mean in the tens, fucking 50, 60, 80, fucking 100 takes.
Jesus.
With shit, just so he would get his fucking shot.
Right.
No matter what, he was going to get what he set out to get.
Very meticulous.
Extremely. Extremely,
Okay.
extremely. So it's highly unlikely that much was just an oversight
Mm-hmm.
in his filmmaking. So I think that it was very intentional that this is one of the things they point out in the Room 237 thing where I'm like, yeah, I think it's legit that he was aware this scene comes before this scene. Let's shoot this one before it so the
Right.
sticker's not there, and then we'll put the sticker on so that, we don't have to fuck around with trying to take it off or whatever. Sometimes stickers can be a bitch.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was intentional that, like, okay, now Danny kind of knows what the fuck is up.
His shining kicked in.
Yeah. But Wendy is like, oh, shall we go into the living room? And the doctor's like, oh, yes, quiet.
Yeah.
But what's with all the fucking books stacked everywhere in here? Like, on every surface, there's, like, nothing but books in this apartment.
Fucking doesn't look like she works. So she's probably sitting around fucking reading.
I
all
guess,
day.
but find a better
I'm
way to
just
store
kidding.
all your fucking books, man. Like, they're on coffee tables and end tables and the kitchen table and a fucking shelf in the back. Like, there's just books and books and books and books and books.
They're getting ready to move.
Well, they are, but anyway. The doctor tells Wendy, hey, there's nothing to worry about. Danny's totally fine. Sometimes these things happen and they look a lot worse than they are, but, whatever. What I do want to talk about is that while these sorts of things are often not explained, they tend to be brought on by emotional factors more akin to auto-hypnosis, a kind of self-induced trance. If it happens again, we can do some tests, but I don't think I would worry about it. Here's where Wendy sparks up her cigarette. But she's a sweetheart, man. The doc asks her how long they've been in Boulder, and she's like, oh, only a couple of months. We moved from Vermont. She asks, did Tony's first appearance coincide with your coming to Colorado? And she's like, no, it started about the time we put him in nursery school.
Uh-huh. No. Turns out it coincides the first time that Jack fucking grabbed up Danny like an asshole.
Yeah.
Which oh my God, this scene, like, I get that they need to set this up. This whole scene, like, just if it was real, just pisses me off because she's just like, oh, Jack just had a rough day at work and had a couple extra drinks.
Came home late.
So, okay, if you had a bad day at work and you stayed at the bar to have extra fucking drinks, shouldn't you come home smiling, you fucking dick?
No, and because then he comes home all drunk and he notices his little shit of a son has spread all of his fucking papers all over the floor. Come here, you little asshole.
Yeah, but the whole idea of having some drinks after work is to ease the tension. You're not supposed to fucking crank down and come home pissed.
Not for a true alcoholic.
Yeah,
Jason.
I know. It's just, I get it. It's just terrible. And she's trying to make him out not to be the bad guy. That's what makes me mad.
Yeah, she's trying to brush it off. Like, no, man, this guy has a fucking problem. Potentially being addressed or whatever. But at the same time, like, I mean, call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. Like, he came home and fucked your kid up. She just tries to, like, blanket statement, oh, well, he didn't adjust well to school and then he had an injury.
Yeah, right.
She wasn't going to say anything about it at first. But then she says, well, he dislocated his shoulder, and the doctor asks, well, how did he manage to do that? And she goes, oh, it's just one of those things. No big deal.
You fucking ass.
She tells this whole story, and there's like a slow zoom on her as she does. It's an amazing delivery. She says, yeah, Jack was drinking, came home 3 hours late. Danny scattered his papers. Jack grabbed him, and she tries to like brush even that off as, oh, it's just the sort of thing you do 100 times with a child in the park or in the streets. But on this particular occasion, my husband just used too much strength, and he injured Danny's arm. But anyway, something good did come out of it. Don't focus on that bad shit that I was just talking about. Listen, I talked to Jack and he said, Wendy, I'm never going to touch another drop. And if I do, you can leave me. And he hasn't had any alcohol in 5 months. Yeah, that's not very long.
Right. I mean, I guess it's a start, and I'm not saying that, but just like, all right, well, why don't you find somebody bigger than Jack to pick him up by his motherfucking arm?
How you like it, motherfucker?
Yeah. Like, fucking asshole, man.
We get some more text on the screen as the scene changes here. Closing day.
Right.
Which we don't get an actual date on, but I'm assuming it's the day before Halloween. They said the season ends on October 30th, so...
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine this little kid who the day after they arrive in this brand new, enormous, intimidating place, and now you're celebrating Halloween? Talk about a bunch of spooky shit, dude. That might fuck this kid up.
That's pretty crazy.
Being here of all places for a second night on Halloween. Ooh, buddy. But we get some more gorgeous, sweeping Lord of the Rings style shots as the Torrance family drives to the hotel together.
Mm-hmm.
And Wendy in the car mentions the air feels different. We must be really high up. And Danny's like, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Like staring him down while he says it too. And Jack's like, look here, you little shit. You should have eaten your goddamn breakfast.
What's with all the fucking dialogue between them in this whole movie? It's always like, Dad? Yeah.
It's like when Hannah...
Are you ready to go to the hotel? Of course I am, Dad? Yes, Danny.
Yes. What, Danny? It's like when Hannah texts me, and like a lot of times she'll just text me the word dad.
Yeah, she wants you to say, yeah.
But no, that's not how fucking texting works. You just text me the thing you want to say. You don't have to get my attention first. When you text me the word dad, it just makes me think some shit's wrong.
Right. She said, if you want to do that, just call me.
Yeah, exactly. But no, she'll always text, Dad, you fucking what?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, Jack is pissed. He's like, well, you should have eaten your breakfast. Wendy caves, though. She's like, we'll get you something to eat as soon as we get to the hotel, Doc. And she asks Jack, oh, hey, isn't this around the area where the Donner Party got snowbound? Well, nope, turns out that was further west in the Sierras, but Danny chimes in. What was the Donner Party? I'm sorry, he says, hey, Dad.
Yeah.
What was the Donner Party? And Jack explains they were settlers in covered wagon times. They had to resort to cannibalism. And then I like Danny's line delivery here. He's like, you mean they ate each other up?
Cool.
Jack's like, well, they had to. And Wendy kind of scolds him again, something that might scare Danny. She's like, oh, well, let's not talk about this. Right. You fucking brought it up, bitch.
Right. Yeah, no shit. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, why are you going to talk about this in front of the kid? Oh, by the way, some people almost died out here and ate each other.
Yeah. Hey, was this around the area the Donner Party was? Yeah. Oh, what's the Donner Party? Jack, don't tell him about the Donner Party.
Right.
But he goes, it's okay, Mom. I saw all about cannibalism on the television. Oh, good. Start him young.
You hear that? Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Saw it on the television.
Yeah, Jack's fucking losing it.
He has so many lines like this through the fucking movies. He's a sarcastic asshole.
Yes, that's where his shittiness shines through this whole movie is him just, oh, yep, that's all it is. Yep,
of course.
It's okay. He saw it on the television. Like,
right.
But this, we cut to a nice misty mountain shot fading to the hotel facade again. Gorgeous, all of it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to live in some fucking mountains, dude. Oh, my God.
Shit's fucking crazy looking, man.
Oh, yeah. But the shot of the hotel fades perfectly into another shot where the peak of the central spire of the hotel is like replaced by a ladder in the lobby, an A-frame ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool transition. There's also a janitor mopping the floor that transitioning from the scene. It looks like he's kind of like sweeping the forest floor in front of the hotel, if you notice.
Oh.
Because all of the fades are so slow in this movie, there's a bunch of like superimposition shots.
Okay.
And it becomes especially evident. Have you ever seen The Shining forwards and backwards? There have been cuts where people have, as soon as the images start at the beginning and end, they take that file and reverse it and play it over the other. And there's a lot of shit that it's really fucking unsettling. I would recommend people watch that for sure. Okay. Just for a fun little thing to put on, be able to, let's watch The fucking Shining forwards and backwards at the same time.
That's some weird, almost like backwards record playing. Was it on purpose that it kind of sounds like it said this, or was it engineered into the shit?
Exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude, and think about how much work would go, like, if some of that was on purpose, right, how much work would go into that back in 1980 or 79?
I highly fucking doubt that Kubrick ever intended to play this movie forwards and backwards at the same time. That'd be fucking nuts.
The fucking Wizard of Oz shit. Like how much extra time would have went into making that happen.
A ridiculous
on fucking
amount.
analog stuff.
Right. But Ullman and Watson walk up to Jack, who's in the lobby having lunch, and he's got this like fucking spread around him, all kinds of food. But he's also reading a Playgirl magazine, like I mentioned earlier. Interesting choice for your boss to walk up and see before he gives you the keys to the kingdom, you know?
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean,
It's a New Year's 1978 edition of this magazine. And there's a bunch of weird articles highlighted. Like I said, one of them is about incest.
it's probably fucking sitting on the table.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
would they have just a Playgirl sitting in the hotel lobby?
I would think not, but
I don't know. Maybe in 1980 when things were a little bit different back then.
swinger hotel or something, dude. Who knows?
Hey, you know, if you watch the remake or if you read the book, that's not entirely out of the realm of possibility when Horace Derwent owned this hotel.
Really, I wondered. Yeah, because like he's all packed up, all the fucking bags are sitting there. So it was like, what was he have it? And his fucking
Yeah.
walked in with it.
Did you notice, though, that about their luggage sitting behind him, there is way too much. There's no way they fit all of that into a fucking Volkswagen Beetle along with 3 people.
That's true. I kind of thought at first, I was like, that is a lot of luggage. And then I was also kind of
It's like the size of the fucking car.
they're about to be there for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, that was my note, was that seems like a lot of luggage. I'm like, wait a minute.
It
They're
doesn't
about-
seem like a lot of luggage for the amount of time that they're... It's basically... They mentioned 5 months a couple of times. I did the
Right.
math. It turns out to more like 6 months because May
Yeah.
1st is supposed to be the last day of it, but they're there from the end of October. So that's a half a year, my
Yeah,
dude.
it's a long time.
So yeah, the amount of luggage for that amount
But
of
you
time
just thought about
makes
the
sense.
transportation.
Yeah. They're
there's
only
no
in
way.
one little yellow Volkswagen Bug. They did not fit all those fucking suitcases in there.
You wouldn't have seen Danny. You would have had like
Yeah.
suitcases on
You're right.
covering his face.
He's like peeking out from a little hole in it. Hey, Dad,
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Fucking car wouldn't have been able to move.
Did they have it on the roof? Was there a
No,
luggage
there was
rack?
not a single bit of anything on the roof. But Ullman and Watson walk up and he's like, oh, I hope you haven't been waiting too long. He's like, nope, had a chance to grab a bite to eat. And Ullman asks if the family's having a look around. He's like, no, my son has discovered the games room. And Ullman asks, about the luggage. And he mentions, oh, yeah, we got it right there. We have a lot to go over, so they better get the fuck to it. So he asked Watson to have the Torrance's luggage brought up to their room. And his response was funny to me. He fucking says fine, but he says it like he's angry about it. He's like, fine. And like storms off.
Pretty much, grab the bags, bitch. Fine.
Listen, my great-great-granddaddy built this hotel.
Right.
I'm not going to be talked to like this anymore. But Jack says he wants to collect his family, and Ullman's looking pretty fucking fly with these red pants and leather jacket, I gotta say.
Oh, shit, yeah, dude. It's his fucking last day before his vacation.
Yeah, he's trying to pick somebody up to take back with him. One of these fucking little snow bunnies. But the shot fades into them walking out of an elevator and into the Colorado lounge. And if you notice, their pile of luggage kind of becomes a pile of people in the shot it fades into. So with all this Native American imagery and piles of bodies, maybe Room 237 is onto something saying this movie's about the Native American genocide.
Fucking maybe.
Out of all the conspiracy theories, that's the one I come closest to maybe believing.
Yeah.
But Wendy is freaking out about how gorgeous this place is. Are all these Indian designs authentic? And Ullman says he believes so based on Navajo and Apache motifs. She's like, this is probably the most gorgeous hotel I've ever seen. And Ullman explains the illustrious past, like in its heyday, it was one of the stopping places for the jet set, even before anyone knew what a jet set was.
The fuck?
He said 4 presidents have stayed here, lots of movie stars, and she asks, royalty? He goes, yep, all the best people. Okay, Ullman, you pretentious prick.
Must be royalty.
Well, it turns out earlier, Jack only collected Wendy because we cut to Danny in the games room by himself playing darts, which he fucking sucks at, by the way.
Yeah, dude. Which is a little fucking weird ass story. He's like,
Yeah, I hated it. But he walks up to collect his darts from the board. I mean, at least he got them all on the board.
that's true.
Rather than making holes in this fucking hotel for Jack to be pissed about. Now I gotta fix that, you little asshole.
Yeah.
But he's startled by a presence he senses in the room. So he whips his head around to see these 2 identical twin girls wearing matching blue dresses just staring at him like a couple of creeps.
Yeah, dude. I think they just want to play.
Yeah, and they're standing in between a phone booth inside and what looks to be a cigarette machine, I think.
Okay.
But in this moment, nobody says anything. There's just some ominous-ass music for a minute before these little girls glance at each other and walk away holding hands. And then, in this room real quick, I wanted to mention, there's a skiing poster in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
This is something the Room 237 conspiracy theorist pointed out. There's no skiing at this hotel, but there's a skiing poster in the corner. It's got the word Monarch across the bottom of it. And this lady in Room 237 mentioned, oh, well, if you look at it the right way, it kind of looks like a minotaur. If this is true intent, then how about the maze and the fact that Danny retraces his steps? I kind of just want to like lay a little bit of a seed right there before going into it a little more in depth later.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is parallels to the story of the Minotaur and the labyrinth, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So in the staff residence area of the hotel, Ullman shows the elder Torrances where they're going to be staying. And he's like, oh yeah, there's a small bedroom for your son. And I like Jack's response. He's like, it's perfect for a child.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Jack's acting weird again. Yeah. Ullman says something about the place being easy to maintain. And Jack leans down to shake the bed a little bit. And he stands up and he goes, cozy. Well, yeah, this bed is nice and bouncy. It's quiet, no squeaky springs. We can handle some fucking business on this sumbitch. Danny'll never hear us. But Ullman actually tells him, well, if you want to, you don't have to stay in here. You got the rest of the hotel to move around in. Dude, I would stay in a different room every night. Can you imagine never having to make the bed, but always being able to climb into a perfect, like, freshly made bed?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Nice change, like, freshly changed, clean sheets. Oh, man. But the housekeeping staff would be so fucking pissed when they came back in May.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? We already changed all these rooms, dude. Are you kidding me? Can you extend it like a week before you start admitting guests?
Right. You have to start fucking over and clean everything.
But you know what else I'd be doing in every room?
Ew, Dusty.
Dude, kitchen, hedge maze, lobby, balconies, elevator, outside wherever before it gets cold.
Jacking off?
What? No, my wife is there, you idiot. Oh my God. Why would your brain go to jacking off?
I was like, ew.
No.
That was a pretty extensive list of places to be
No,
jacking off.
I'd be like, hey, Wendy, baby, listen. Danny's taking a nap.
You imagine the thought in my head when you started with the list?
You want to jack off on the hedge maze, dude?
I was like, wow. In the kitchen? Fucking the lobby?
my
In
God.
the elevator? I was like, damn. I mean, you do have 6 months.
That's too much. Oh, man, it would be so raw. Anyway, let's fucking move on from this shit. Jack says the place is homie. And outside, they walk past the hedge maze that we just mentioned. 13-foot high walls on this motherfucker. And then the hedge is about as old as the hotel itself. It's a lot of fun, but I wouldn't want to go in there unless I had an hour to spare to find my way out, Ullman says. Or a ball of thread, perhaps. That's my thesis, anyway.
I wouldn't be too bad. I was going to say, complicated for adults, but not for fucking Danny, evidently. That's what it seems like to me.
He got The Shining, man. You can just have like an aerial view of it guiding himself back out, like you're doing a maze on paper.
Yeah, he has no fucking issue at all. He fucking runs in there and loses. Fuck yeah.
Well, he's got the added benefit of the snow, the footprints in the snow, too.
That's true.
But anyway, Wendy asks when the Overlook was built, and he answers, oh, well, it started in 1907, finished in 1909, built on an Indian burial ground, and they had to repel a few Indian attacks. All right, dude, I know it was a couple more years before Poltergeist came out, but that's just bad juju.
Right. Yeah. Terrible idea.
We get an introduction to the Snowcat here, and he's like, oh, can you both drive a car? It operates pretty much the same way. It won't take you long to get the hang of it. We cut to a shot of the hall outside the Gold Room, which is the ballroom. And he's like, yeah, we knocked down the East Wing to construct a brand new glorious ballroom. All the best people will be there. Oh, no.
I was like, wait a minute.
But Ullman mentions they brought in a decorator from Chicago to refurbish the area of the hotel just last year. And Wendy's like, oh, well, he certainly did a wonderful job. Pink and gold are my favorite colors. Ew, dude. The fucking 70s color palette looks terrible. Like, it's like an old Price is Right rerun or something.
It kind of fucking does. I was like, I like the gold, but like the pink, not so much. It's not like
they're just
pink like you think of now.
Yeah, they're gross colors together.
It's like faded out pink, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They walk into the ballroom, and Ullman says they can accommodate up to 300 people here very comfortably.
Yeah, damn.
And there's a bunch of people all over the place cleaning, and Wendy mentions, oh boy, we could really have a good party in here, huh, hun? And she does a little saucy little dance move, but hey man, dick move. You know Jack doesn't drink. You know why he doesn't drink. And here you are rubbing it in his face, not to mention there won't be any people around to party with.
Yeah, no shit. But then obviously he is reassured that the booze is gone for insurance purposes.
Yeah, they got to take it down so they can save some fucking money before they shut down because the insurance costs. But Jack counters with, oh, well, we don't drink. Oh, yeah, we.
Really? Because it doesn't take too much, buddy.
Right? But suddenly, another fly motherfucker walks up, and actually, everybody's pretty well dressed in this. But I'm talking about Dick, of course. Mr. Halloran, that is.
Dick Halloran.
He's a Stephen King alum. Like I said, he was in It. He was in a couple of different stories of Stephen King. And I was waiting for that black spot segment to pop up as soon as I saw him step into It, Welcome to Derry. Have you watched that yet?
No.
You should check it out. It's pretty good. But Dick is the hotel's head chef. And he introduces himself. He's like, "Oh, how do you folks like the hotel so far?" And suddenly, Susie walks up with Danny, and she's like, "Oh, I found him outside looking for you." Damn fucking child abandonment already.
Yeah.
There's something I don't trust about this Susie bitch. I don't know what it is.
Really?
But this is where Danny walks up, and Jack is like, "Dan, you get tired of bombing the universe?" And I like Danny's response here, just like, "Yeah.
Yes, Dad."
But Allman says, "Hey, Dick, if you're ready to do it now, I think it'd be a good idea for you to show Mrs. Torrance the kitchen while I continue on with Jack."
Yeah, did you notice here that he's showing Mrs. Torrance the kitchen and not Mr. Torrance?
Oh,
come on,
yeah.
Mrs. Torrance, we're going to show you the kitchen.
You expect her to have all your meals on the table at a certain time while you're not writing, you piece of shit?
Yeah. Mrs. Torrance will be in the kitchen, not Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Jack probably can't cook shit.
Yeah. This kitchen is fucking huge.
And I wonder about Wendy's cooking skills as well, because like all we really see of it in this movie is A, she makes Danny that sandwich earlier on.
Right.
And then we also get later on there's something I don't want to mention it here because I don't want to ruin it. There's something that she's doing in the kitchen later, and I'm like, just like scratching my head, like, what the fuck are you doing with that thing?
Really? I don't think I noticed.
But they cut to the kitchen. Here's where Dick asks her, "Oh, hey, Mrs. Torrance, your husband introduced you as Winifred. Now, are you a Winnie or a Freddie?" And she's like, "Neither one, you stupid bastard. I'm a Wendy."
Winnie.
But Danny's
like Winnie from...
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah, should have been. We got a Winnie and a Wendy. I feel like her name was just Winnie, though. You know what is funny? I had never seen It's a Wonderful Life, but since we covered that, I watched it, and it's a really good movie, actually.
Is it?
And something I noticed about it, the character Bernie, I wonder if her inclusion is sort of a combination of the characters in It's a Wonderful Life, Bert and Ernie, which I know you're going to fucking say conjures memories of Sesame Street.
Yes.
But I think that may be where they named those characters from, too. Obviously, It's a Wonderful Life existed first in fucking 1946. But anyway, she says her name is Wendy. Danny mentions this is the biggest place I've ever seen. And here's where we get a Hansel and Gretel reference. Wendy says this place is such an enormous maze, I feel like I'll have to leave a trail of breadcrumbs every time I come in.
Every time I come in.
Automobile.
Yeah.
But Dick is like, "Oh, don't let it get you down, Mrs. Torrance. It's big, but it still ain't nothing but a kitchen." He goes, "Most of this stuff you'll never have to touch." She goes, "I wouldn't know what to do with it if I did." And he's like,
"What?"
He goes, "Look, at least you don't have to worry about food. You folks can eat up here a whole year and never have the same menu twice."
Yeah, damn.
That's more of a worry. Wendy's means are a little more modest than that.
Sounds pretty sweet, though.
Having to deal with all those fancy tools and all this shit you're not used to cooking, you know?
Yeah, it's a cool big-ass kitchen, dude.
Yeah, he walks her into this freezer and the ridiculous amount of food in it. He's like, "We got 50 steaks, 20 legs of lamb, 15 rib roasts, 40 chickens, and a partridge in a pear tree."
Yeah. Yeah, dude, this is where shit starts getting a little strange. At least Wendy starts to notice because he asks Danny if he likes lamb, but calls him Doc.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think anything of it right away. I'm kind of thinking, motherfucker saw Bugs Bunny dock some shit, because he does. That's where they say it's from, you know?
Yeah.
But we figure out that, no, it's some of The Shining.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, he goes, "You like lamb, Doc?" And this is the first instance of Dick Halloran being a shitty psychic, because he doesn't cover his bases right. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, Danny says no. His favorite food is French fries and ketchup. Fucking dumbass kid.
Yeah, shouldn't you know this?
But second, nobody called Danny Doc around Dick yet.
Right.
So that's the name of another one of the 7 dwarves, by the way, another reference to something earlier. But Dick is exposing himself.
Ew.
The dick is exposing itself.
No, he is not.
Calling Danny Doc when he shouldn't have that information yet.
Right.
The other instance of him being a shitty psychic literally gets him killed, but we'll talk about that later. But Wendy's onto him immediately. She's like, you called Danny Doc twice just now. How'd you know we call him that?
Right.
And he's like, oh shit, fucking run.
Yeah.
And Dick tries to play it off. He's like, oh, well, I must have heard you call him that. She's like, maybe, but I don't remember him calling that since we've been with you. And he's like, oh, well, he just looks like a doc. And you're like, fucking what? Nobody looks like a doc. That's not a real name.
Yeah. Must be the Shining.
But Scatman leans down and does the worst fucking Bugs Bunny impression I've ever heard. What's up, Doc?
It's not too bad.
And he laughs his ass off, but the other two just kind of stare at him like, what the fuck? This dude's weird. But he turns around to show him the pantry, which is a very important location for later in the movie. And he goes through a huge, long list of shit here too. Canned fruits and vegetables, canned fish and meats, hot and cold cereals, post toasties. And the second they walk into this room, we get this high-pitched squeal in the score, indicating, ooh, this is a scary place.
Danny's having a fucking episode again.
Well, Dick just keeps on keeping on, and his voice fades out as Danny kind of zeroes in on him, sensing something. And as he's talking, we zoom in on him, and right behind him is a can of that Calumet baking powder that they point out in that room 237 thing, with a big Indian chief's head on the package. And this is something pointed out by those conspiracy theorists. There was a dude talking about how, oh, these cans are a big deal with the imagery of the Native American on it. The word Calumet means peace pipe. So here we get a nice little can just, right behind his head, setting up later when we see him back in the pantry, and we'll get into that a little later too. But another cool thing is that Dick starts to kind of juggle conversations here. He's physically talking with his mouth to Wendy, but then he turns to look at Danny and he shines to him. Hey, how would you like some ice cream, Doc?
Yeah.
And to finish up this little pantry excursion, Dick gets weird with it. He's like, okay, we got dried peaches, dried apricots, dried raisins, and dried prunes. You know, Mrs. Torrance, you got to keep regular if you want to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
And she just gives like a nervous, grossed out laugh.
True.
But he's talking to her about like, oh, hey, make sure you're taking regular shits up here. Because especially up here in the mountains, if sepsis sets in, you are so fucked. So I wish they would have shown him snacking on these prunes throughout the movie just to make sure.
Coming out of the bathroom and the toilet's flushing.
But that's when Jack, Ullman, and Watson all walk back up. And he's Ullman's like, can I borrow Mrs. Torrance? We're on our way to the basement. I promise we won't keep her very long. What the fuck? That's Jack's wife, not Dick's.
Yeah. What's going on in the basement?
Although after this winter, I don't know. Or is Ullman saying, hey, Dick, watch this kid. I promise we won't leave you with the little shit for too long. But Dick's like, oh, no problem. I was just getting around to the ice cream. What do you like? And he goes, oh, chocolate. And he goes, oh, chocolate it shall be. And Wendy mentions as they walk through the basement, oh, it's amazing how much activity there is here today. And Ullman says everybody's rushing around to close up shop. But listen, by 5 o'clock tonight, you'll never know anyone was ever here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fucking terrifying is what it is. And she goes, just like a ghost ship, huh? Yep, just in time for Halloween tomorrow. We cut back to Halloran back in the kitchen, staring intensely at Danny, eating his chocolate ice cream. And he asks him, do you know how I knew your name was Doc? And Danny gives the faintest little shrug I've ever seen twice. He's like, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Another shrug. And this is where Dick spills the beans about The Shining and what it is. And he goes, I remember when I was a little boy, my grandmother and me could have entire conversations without ever opening our mouths.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it turns out other people have The Shining too. Okay.
Yeah. I think somewhere in this scene is where Scatman Carruthers fucking lost it, because Kubrick was, again, famous for doing tons of takes in his movies, and he had to do a take like 100 times, and he fucking was breaking down about it. And apparently the next movie he was on, he cried tears of joy because it was directed by Clint Eastwood, who was like a one and done. Like, I'm just doing one take. Okay, we got it. Moving on. Nice. And he was like, oh, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
But he goes, she called it shining. And for a long time, I thought it was just the two of us that had the shine to us. Just like you probably thought you was the only one.
Right.
But there's other folks, though mostly they don't know it or don't believe it. How long have you been able to do it? And Danny won't say a fucking word here. And he's like,
oh yeah.
He goes, why don't you want to talk about it? And he goes, I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
Take 86, Stanley. Supposed?
Yes. I'm not opposed to.
He goes, who says you ain't supposed to? And Danny tells Dick about Tony here. He's like, the little boy that lives in my mouth. And he goes, is Tony the one that tells you things? How does he tell you things? And Danny explains, when he has his little episodes, he goes, well, it's like I go to sleep and he shows me things, but when I wake up, I can't remember everything. And he goes, well, do your mom and dad know about Tony? Do they know he tells you things? He goes, no, Tony told me never to tell him.
Oh, shit.
And he goes, has Tony ever told you anything about this place, about the Overlook Hotel? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. And he's like, well, think real hard, Doc. He goes, well, maybe he showed me something. He goes, try to think about what it was. And he ignores that, saying, Mr. Halloran, are you scared of this place? And he's like, no, of course not. But sometimes places are like people. Some shine and some don't. And I guess you could say the Overlook Hotel has something about it that's kind of like shining.
Got a bit of the shining.
Got a little bit of the shine. And he goes, is there something bad here? And Dick looks down for a minute before answering. That's a hesitation to me.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, well, Doc, when something happens, it can leave a trace of itself behind. Say, like, if someone burns toast, oh, fuck, Dick's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
But he goes, maybe things that happen leave other kind of traces behind. Not things anyone can notice, but things that people who shine can see.
Yeah, you know, like you burn some toast or you kill your whole fucking family with an axe. It's very similar.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
You know, it's not a big deal.
But he goes, just like you see things that haven't happened yet, Danny, you see things in the future. Well, sometimes they can see things that happened a long time ago. So,
a long time ago.
I think a lot of things that happened right here in this hotel over the years, not all of them was good.
Yeah.
So Danny goes, all right, let's talk about some specifics then. Tell me about room 237, motherfucker. You're scared of that room, ain't you? And he goes, no, I ain't. I ain't scared of shit, kid.
Yeah. Well,
And
what's
like,
in room 237?
Nothing. There ain't nothing in room 237, but you ain't got no business going in there anyway, so stay out. You understand? Stay out. Now, if there's nothing to worry about in room 237, Mr. Halloran, why are you so fucking adamant about me not going in it? Does it matter if I go in? It sounds like you're saying no, but why are you telling me to stay away, motherfucker?
You wasn't listening. I said it ain't none of your business.
No, Mr. Allman told me I could go anywhere in the hotel I wanted to.
Yeah. Ain't none of your business. Stay out, motherfucker.
Which is different in the remake, by the way. It's made very clear they're not supposed to go in the guest rooms.
Oh,
So.
okay.
And that's the last we see of anyone besides the Torrances for a while, because then
Right.
we cut to a month later is the graphic on the screen.
1 month later.
1 month later. But then we get a shot of the hotel from outside again, and their car is the only one in this dangerous-ass parking lot, by the way. Right on the edge of a cliff, no guardrail or barrier of anything to be seen.
Just left where the fucking snowdrift can overtake it.
But we get some cool nature sounds going on outside for a minute, and then we cut to Wendy inside wheeling a food service cart through the hotel. Must be quite a hike from the kitchen.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And on the second floor, by the way.
She's got her hair up, we got a robe on, and she's bringing Jack some breakfast in
You're
bed.
bringing him something in bed with that
you
hair up
said.
and the robe on.
This place is fucking huge, man.
But we cut to Danny riding his big wheel through the hotel as well. These are some of the coolest sound design shots in the movie, I think, because these are the steady cam shots following Danny around riding his bike. But I love hearing the difference in sound between him riding on the cold, hard floor versus when he pops up onto the rugs.
Yeah, the plastic wheels.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's super fucking cool.
Dude, I was like sitting there, I was like, if I was in this fucking place and this kid was riding that thing all day,
Yeah.
I feel like it would echo and I'd be like, fuck off with the big wheel. You know, it's like loud as shit.
Well, there's also like the limited space aspect, the liminal space aspect of this entire hotel, basically, that makes it a bit creepy.
Oh, yeah.
He's riding around by himself, no telling what's around any corner, you know?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But I love how he be drifting around these corners, too. Did you see that? He's fucking like, scared. A lot of people also point out in the few scenes we see of him riding around, the path he takes almost doesn't make any sense. Almost as if the layout of the hotel is changing as he goes, once again.
Oh, yeah. I fucking bet.
But Wendy makes it to the caretaker's apartment to wake up Jack and bring him breakfast in bed.
At 11:30 a.m., you fuck.
There's a really cool mirror shot of Jack sleeping, representing the duality of the hotel and the entities in it as she walks in. And I love when she walks around the corner, fucking struggling with this enormous breakfast platter, her poor tiny arms buckling under the weight.
A nice woman, Jack.
But she goes, "Good morning, hon. Your breakfast is ready." And that line gives me the sense he's one of those guys that expects his meal on the table at a certain time, you know?
Let's fucking go.
Back then, that was pretty common, actually, but it still gives me weird vibes about their strained relationship, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with dinner being on the table, but you don't be a dick about it. He's just a dick about everything, and we know.
I suppose, man. I've had family members like that, though. It's like the dude goes to work and he comes home and sits down on his fucking chair and doesn't move, and he, like, yells out, "Hey, where's my dinner?"
Yeah, that's not cool.
I'm like, fuck that.
No, that's not cool at all.
But Jack wakes up. He's like, "What time is it?" She says, "Oh, it's about 11:30. Holy fucking shit, really? That's crazy. Like, I guess if I didn't have shit to do in a hotel for an entire winter, I might go back to my old ways too, but damn.
Hey, get the fuck up. Do something.
Maybe if you'd woken up at a decent time, you could have gotten some of the fucking job you're supposed to do done. But she goes, "I guess we've been staying up too late." I'm like, "Oh shit, y'all smushing or what?" But Jack sits up and looks into the mirror and sticks out his tongue, and he's wearing a Stovington Prep t-shirt with one of many eagles we see in the film on it. More on that later, but Stovington was the name of the school he taught at in Vermont, which they show more of in the remake.
I gotcha.
Fucking George Hatfield.
George.
But she mentions that she made his eggs just the way you like them, sunny side up. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
She also mentions, "Oh, it's really pretty outside. How about taking me for a walk after you finish your breaky, big boy?"
Nah, I should probably do some writing first.
Bitch, you know you ain't right, and take your wife on a walk.
Yeah, thanks for the eggs,
Jesus Christ. She asks him if he's gotten any ideas yet, and he's like, "Yeah, but no good ones." And she's like, "Well, that's okay. It's just a matter of settling back into the habit of writing every day." And I fucking love his shitty, sarcastic look he gives her while he's dipping the bacon into the egg yolk and says, "Yep, that's all it is. You'd fucking know, wouldn't you?"
Yeah. Fucking dude, he's so sarcastic all the time. Like, I don't know that he's trying to come off that way or if it's just his fucking face, but
I think it's just his natural shittiness. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's like,
yeah. Well, she continues trying to make conversation with her husband who hates her and is eating like a fucking animal, by the way. He's actually eating like my mom's old boyfriend, Chet, who I fucking hated. I've only hated 2 people in my life, like truly hated, and he's one of them. But he was a huge piece of shit, and every time he ate, he would always be smacking his lips and breathing all heavy. It was fucking disgusting. Hey, Chet, I hope you're fucking dead. Anyway, Jack is eating like a fucking animal like that right here. If you notice, he's fucking... It's fucking gross, dude.
Real animated.
Yeah. But she says to Jack, "Man, it's really nice up here, huh?" And he goes, "I love it. I really do." And this scene was one of my favorites in that Shining spoof trailer. Like, they make the whole thing look to be reimagined as a romantic comedy, like we mentioned. But it's like playing in the background, and it cuts to him going, "I love it." It's so fucking funny, man. Now, if you haven't noticed, this entire scene has been filmed through the mirror. So our perspective of the two of them is reversed from what it actually should be. When we zoom in on the mirror and Jack's reflection in it.
Oh,
The whole time he's wearing that shirt, you see the word Stovington is backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's amazing, but it gives us a strange sense that everything is a little bit off, you know? And he goes, "I've never been this happy or comfortable anywhere." This is where the camera changes and shows him straight on instead of through the mirror.
Okay.
And she goes, "Yeah, it's amazing how fast you get used to such a big place. I'll tell you, when we first came up here, I thought it was kind of scary." And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I fell in love with it right away. When I came up here for my interview, it was as though I'd been here before. I mean, we all have moments of deja vu, but this was ridiculous. And it was almost as though I knew what was going to be around every corner." And then he gives us this little playful, like, "Woo, woo," with his crazy eyebrows raised up.
Is it because it's Halloween?
No, it's a month later, remember?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But this is like the only moment of like tender or playful anything we get between the two of them in this entire movie. Like they're actually a couple.
Right.
Pretty short-lived. Even if it was through him, you know, eating in bed propped up on one arm like the mayor in Toxic Avenger, getting the massage and eating that huge fucking sub that was like longer than he was.
Hell yeah.
Still don't get that. But we have another slow fade to another scene. Basically, every transition in the movie is like this, extremely slow, smooth, etc. We fade to an image of Jack's typewriter sitting on a table in the Colorado lounge. But is Jack writing? Of course not, because all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. So instead, He's fucking winging a tennis ball at the wall above the fireplace in the lounge while his cigarette burns next to his typewriter.
Right.
What he's supposed to be doing, writing in his typewriter.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention, hey man, maybe stop tossing that ball against the precious Native American work of art here. Like, there are plenty of white walls you could be doing that against instead.
Right.
Why do you got to try to fuck up the art, you fuck?
I was kind of thinking that too. Fucking up my walls.
But when we do see the typewriter again, we notice it's a German brand called Adler, which means eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned the eagle on his shirt a minute ago. There's also the one in Ullman's office. Now the eagle is a very popular part of the branding of, not only on this typewriter, but if you recall, Nazi uniforms, their insignia would include eagles a lot in the World War II era. This led a lot of people to believe that this movie is a nod from Kubrick about the atrocities of World War II, which, Kubrick was born in 1928. So when the Germans decided to carry out the plan of eradicating the Jews in 1942, Kubrick would have been 13 or 14. So he was very much present and aware of the whole ordeal. So I guess it's possible.
Right.
And a lot of people asked, like, now why would a true blue American like Jack Torrance have a German typewriter? I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe he found it for cheap at the Salvation Army and he knows Germans make good shit. Why does he have a German car? Who cares?
Right.
But is it suggesting that Jack is somehow representative of the German war machine, eradicating his family representing the Jews? Who knows? We'll never really know the answer. Kubrick's dead.
Right.
But there's the Native American angle as well. He's tossing this tennis ball against the wall in a hotel built on the blood of the natives, driven from their land to build it, literally killing some to build it. And it's also built straight on top of the burial ground for the ultimate disrespect. All possible as well. Later Jack mentioned something about white man's burden that I'll do my best to summarize when we get to it. But directly after this, we cut to Wendy and Danny running outside, racing to the hedge maze, which is not present in the book or the remake. But oddly, the Stanley Hotel does have a hedge maze at it now in honor of being connected to this movie.
Oh, okay.
But Wendy says the loser has to keep America clean. Interesting choice of words. Clean how? Like ethnic cleansing? Huh, Wendy?
Oh.
It also calls to mind that old... Have you ever seen that old Crying Indian public service announcement commercial of the people driving down the highway and they throw a bunch of garbage out of their window and it lands at the native's feet? And he turns and there's a big tear rolling down his face.
Right.
Trail of tears, as it were.
Okay.
But Wendy is chasing behind Danny, toying with him a little bit. Her fucking lanky ass would smoke this kid in a real race.
Oh, yeah. She's got a really long span.
She's not trying at all. But they run into this maze and she finally stops him. Okay, you win. Let's take the rest of this walking. But she grabs his hand as they walk through this amazing thing. Like, she goes, isn't it beautiful? He goes, yeah, but the music would suggest otherwise. Very eerie right here.
Oh, yeah, real creepy. The cameras are following him really close, and it's kind of disorienting, It's kind of some of the same shit that was happening with Danny on the big wheel earlier.
Yeah.
A lot of very close up, but a lot of turns and shifts, and you can't tell, like you said, does it even make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. They walk through zigging and zagging all over the place, running into dead ends for a while she lugs this fucking Polaroid camera around. But we cut back into the hotel where Jack is still wandering around, fucking off with his tennis ball, and he finally heaves it down a hallway where he finds a model of the hedge maze that he looks down into, and we get this really cool shot of him standing over the maze, or the labyrinth, if you will, as though he is the Minotaur himself peering down onto his domain.
Right.
And if the lady from the documentary was onto something, we might as well talk about this here, I guess. So the story of the Minotaur from Greek mythology, the hero Theseus, King Minos, I believe, in Crete, was married to a woman. He had a wife named, I believe, Pasiphae. And there was something that happened where, like, the gods would always come down and try to, like, make passes at women or whatever just to fuck whoever they want. And I think Poseidon tried to do that with Pasiphae, and she refused him. So he cursed her to fall in love with a bull, and she fucked the bull, and she had a little baby Minotaur, and King Minos was pissed. He ordered Daedalus, the inventor, to construct the labyrinth to put the Minotaur inside, and then he would demand sacrifices of Athenian youths to be, sacrificed to the Minotaur every year, I believe. And then at one point, Theseus was one of these tributes. And before he went in there, I can't remember which it was. Someone gave him a ball of thread that he could use to find his way back out of the labyrinth once he slayed the Minotaur. So that all being said, we cut to Jack, and he's got this fucking crazy look in his eye, standing over this labyrinth, essentially. And the way that Danny ends up getting out of shit later, I want to come back to regarding all this in mind. But then we cut from him to an overhead view of the maze itself, as though from his perspective, and then it zooms down into the maze, showing Danny and Wendy walking around in the center.
Right.
Very cool shot, almost Hereditary-esque with Annie's miniatures, like in the beginning of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It shows her miniatures around the room, and then we zoom into one of the miniatures, and people walk into it.
It's a real life, yeah.
And it's really disorienting, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy-ass shot.
Yeah. So we cut to a Tuesday card, and we get a golden hour shot of the hotel. Looks like dusk. And then it cuts into Wendy in the kitchen. And there's, on the news, they're talking about a shooting in 1968 by some dude named Rutherford, who I wonder, is she saying, like, he escaped from prison. The news anchor mentions this guy was serving a life sentence for that shooting. But the search also continues for a missing Aspen woman. 24-year-old Susan Robertson has been missing for 10 days. Oh, shit, is that Rutherford?
Oh.
And the lady apparently went missing while on a hunting trip with her husband. Yeah, missing.
No, right.
Let me guess, the husband reported it?
I guess so.
But all that aside, the bigger crime happening here is what Wendy is doing. She's using the super cool countertop can opener, which is great.
Yeah,
But she's
those.
using it to open the biggest can of fruit cocktail I've ever fucking... It's like a bucket of fruit. It's a fucking 55-gallon drum of fruit cocktail that she's opening. Like, what the fuck are you going to do with that? Between the three of you, and Danny's small, so between the 2.5 of you, you're not getting through this thing for at least the next week.
Dude, fruit is an important part of your diet, Dusty.
Yeah, you got to stay regular if you want to be happy.
That's definitely like a fucking 10, 20-pound can of fucking fruit cocktail.
It's fucking... I mean, obviously, I'm exaggerating about a 55-gallon drum.
It's huge, though.
It's fucking enormous.
Yeah, for real. Like, I literally was wondering that. I'm like, God damn, man. Like, you're having fruit fucking breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. But she pours it into this big-ass bowl, and then she stops to listen to the news talking about the weather. Apparently, it's nice where they are now, but to the west and north, it's snowing like a motherfucker and cold as shit. So here we go. Strap in, bitches.
Big snowstorm.
Snowstorm?
Big snowstorm. Headed right for Colorado.
Yep. We cut now to the second of Danny's big wheel expeditions. He's now riding on the second floor across that awesome orange and brown and red, like honeycomb pattern carpet we all know and love so much.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a button-down shirt with that design on it once, and I really wanted it, but I didn't get it. But Danny eventually rides past room 237, and he stops to look at it, which reminded me of something from the book, not covered in this film, and only briefly mentioned in the 97 remake, but it's a story Danny mentions his dad used to tell him about somebody named Bluebeard, which is a classic French folktale by a guy named Charles Perrault, about this rich man with a blue beard who has this beautiful young wife, who he forbids to go into a certain room in their home. Sound familiar? Because it turns out that he's murdered all of his previous wives and deposited them in this room.
Oh, cool, dude.
So sort of a parallel story going on here. Don't go in that room, Danny. You're not going to like what you find.
This is a French tale?
Yes.
Cool, dude.
Right. Also, it's right about 42 minutes into the movie that Danny stumbles across room 237. Oh my goodness, Jason. Do you know what you get when you multiply 2 times 3 times 7?
23. I mean, 42.
Yeah, you fucking...
number 23.
I just told you. Yeah. Oh man, you ain't even ready for all the 42s in this movie. We're not done yet.
Red, 7. Blue, 23. 7. 40 minus 7.
Hike.
23.
But Danny walks up to scope the sitch out real quick here, but he finds the door locked. Better luck next time, pal.
Yeah, dude. Door's locked. That's fucked.
And he does get a quick flash of the Grady girls again right here, but it doesn't last long before he jumps back on his bike, hauls ass out of here, and keeps looking behind him as he goes.
Yeah, for sure.
And we cut to Jack fucking tapping away on his typewriter in the Colorado lounge. Seems to be hard at work.
He's finally got some inspiration, man. It's good.
Until Wendy comes in and interrupts him.
I knew this was going to happen right away. Typewriter's flowing. He's been in a funk. He's zoned in. Here comes fucking Wendy. Hey, how you doing? Like, dude, come the fuck on, Wendy.
I mean, what? She's got to fucking have some conversation every once in a while with another human being that's not her son or his fucking imaginary friend.
Should have just waited a second, you know? Wait for you can hear him working. You can actually hear it.
I guess, dude. But how long before this had it been? Hours and hours, I assume.
Right. No, I'm totally joking around. There's nothing wrong with her popping in. But I would say I kind of get how he's feeling, but he goes about it the entirely wrong way.
Buddy, he goes way overboard.
Yeah, that's too much. He could have been like, honey, I was kind of in a groove here, you know?
Right.
Can you just give me some space? Be
Right.
fine.
Exactly.
But no.
No, that's not what he fucking does. She walks in and she goes, "Hi, hun," and his typing stops, and the tension builds as she gets closer and closer to him, and then they pull a cheap jump scare on us. When she gets right next to him, there's a big score sting as he rips the paper all dramatically out of the typewriter.
Yeah, pissed.
Almost looking like he's rearing back to strike the woman. Fucking typewriter jump scare.
Right.
But Jack is immediately annoyed as fuck with her here. She's like, "Oh, did you get a lot written today?" He's like, "Yes." And now in this part, watch in the background, there's some wooden furniture up against the wall behind his head. And when he answers here, there's like a chair and a couple of end tables behind him. And then when it cuts to Wendy saying, "Hey, the weather forecast said it's going to snow tonight," when it cuts back to him, that furniture is gone.
Yeah.
Continuity error? Not likely. So what are we supposed to get out of this? Oh, no. Haunted furniture. Oh, no. Undertaker, they took the chair. The ghosts are taking the chairs.
By God, the
Ooh.
ghost took a chair.
So Jack couldn't fucking care less about the furniture or the snow, though. His response is, "What do you want me to do about it?"
Yeah, dude.
Like, damn, dude, chill out. Nothing. Just making conversation.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Come on, hun, don't be so grouchy." He's like, "I'm not being grouchy. I just want to finish my work." She goes, "Okay, I understand. I'll come back with a couple sandwiches later for you, and maybe you'll let me read something then." And the way he's fucking staring laser beams through her head now, just fucking run, lady.
What's the deal with this lady and fucking sandwiches, man?
But this is where he goes off laying down the law about what he expects out of her. He's like, "Let me explain something to you. Whenever you come in here, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me. And it will then take me time to get back to where I was." And he's fucking throwing a tantrum here like a big man baby.
Oh, yeah.
Smacks himself in the head at one point and tears up one of his papers like, "All right, dude, that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
You couldn't have been on that much of a roll. Why did you just like ruin some of your own work?"
Right. We just threw away everything you were grooving on.
Right. But based on what we see later, I'm sorry, did you forget what comes between play and dull? Fuck you, Jack. She's just like, "Well, fuck me, okay, God." And he goes, "We're going to make a new rule. Whenever I'm in here and you hear me typing," and he does a little tip, tap, tap. Or whether you don't hear me typing, whatever the fuck you hear me doing in here, whenever I'm in here, I'm working. That means don't come in. Do you think you can handle that? And she's like, "Yeah, fuck." And he's like, "Good. Why don't you start right now and get the fuck out of here?" Jesus Christ. Even if they make it through this winter, this marriage ain't lasting through the spring.
You know, she's the only other person up here, Jack.
Yeah, maybe don't completely fucking alienate her and put this funk in the air.
Right. Like, damn, dude. He's unbothered and goes right back to work, too.
Yeah. There's a quick shot here of what's on this little table that he's working on. And one of the prominent items is a big old book that looks like it's got a bunch of clippings in it. I wonder if this is a reference to the hotel history he finds in the basement in the book and the remake. It's not really mentioned in this movie, but it made me do a double take. Like, what are those articles right there? So then we cut to Thursday, where we have Wendy and Danny running through the ridiculous amount of snow. We ain't ever seen anything like this in Northwest Ohio, thank God.
Yeah, holy snowstorm shit.
But Wendy's actually kicking Danny's ass here like the good Lord intended. He's trying to throw snowballs and sucking ass at that too, just like the darts earlier. He's never going to be a pitcher. But they're racing, and she ends up turning around to throw a snowball at Danny. And then we cut inside of Jack just fucking blankly staring out the window in the lounge with this menacing fucking expression on his face. A little more Minotaur-like maybe, baring his teeth a little.
I was kind of like, is he getting the fuck shining now? Like, what the fuck's going on, dude? He's just staring. Like,
He's just losing it, dude.
Imagine walking into a room and you see him staring out the window like that.
Nope, I'm turning around and walking right the fuck back out.
Maybe he's just really lost in the snowscapes out here, you know?
Right.
Must not get much snow south
Right.
or whatever the fuck, couple hours south of here.
That's all we really get of Thursday, though. We cut to Saturday, which is...
That's the whole day.
That's the whole day. Just him,
fucking day.
them playing in the snow and him staring. But I think that's a cool mechanic in this movie, though. Every time they cut to another jump in time, it's kind of getting quicker and quicker. Like, oh, Thursday, now Saturday. From closing day to a month later, now it's Tuesday, Saturday, and then they start doing fucking timestamps later.
It's like
so everything
accurate.
starts moving faster.
Super accurate. Me on my days off.
We get a quick shot of Jack typing some more, and then we cut to Wendy fucking around with the switchboard trying to get through to someone, but not having any luck. The phone lines are down.
Right.
So she's got this great fucking 70s outfit on, this awesome yellow jacket thing with huge pockets and graphics all over it.
Yeah.
Blue pants, matching yellow shoes. She's fucking super fly here too.
Super fly.
But she walks out just smoking a cigarette through the lobby as she makes her way to Ullman's office to use the radio. And this is where we get the cool conversation. This is KDK-12 calling KDK-1. And we cut to the U.S. Forest Service, where a ranger takes her call. And she goes, "Oh, hi, this is Wendy Torrance over at the Overlook Hotel." And he asks how they're managing up there. And she goes, "Oh, just fine, but our telephones are telling a different story."
Right.
Are the lines down? And he doesn't have much more interest in talking to her than Jack does. He goes, "Yeah, lady, what do you want from me?"
Right.
"We're going to make a new rule. When I'm in the U.S. Forest Service uniform, I'm working. Now get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
But she asks if the lines will be repaired soon. And this dude's like, "No, likely not until spring."
Right. Leave your radio on, though.
She's like, "Well, fuck me. I'm probably going to die then. I think my husband wants to eat me, and not in the fun way." But he goes, "This is one of the worst storms we've had in years." But again, he's clearly sick of talking to her because he heaves this big sigh and he's like, "Is there anything else I can do for you, Mrs. Torrance? I would love to get back to my fucking Sudoku puzzle, if you please." She's like, "No, I guess not. I'll just go fuck myself. Lord knows my husband isn't." And he's like, "Okay, lady, just, if there's anything we can do, give us a call. Mrs. Torrance, it might be a good idea for you to leave your radio on all the time now." She goes, "Okay, it was real nice talking to anyone other than my child. Over and out." And we cut to Danny on his third big wheel excursion. This time he's riding through the service hallways until he makes his way to the staff corridor, where he turns a corner and runs into the Grady girls. Dun, dun, dun.
Sisters, yeah.
Standing at the end of the hallway, holding hands, being creepy. And this is where we get the "Hello, Danny. Come and play with us. Come and play with us, Danny, forever and ever. Forever."
Yeah.
But they have an English accent, which later when we meet Delbert Grady, who
Right.
also does,
Yeah,
lending
for
a little
sure.
gravitas to that. But the whole time they're saying this, he's getting visions of the past in this hallway, as it cuts a few times from them standing there to them laying dead on the floor, blood splashed everywhere, and Axe just
Fucking
laying on the floor
murdered.
next to him. There's an overturned chair. Looks like whatever happened here was pretty fucking gnarly.
Right.
But I like how it's like a fireman's axe, too, as opposed to a regular old wood chopping one.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Danny's like, no, I don't know what game you guys are playing, but I think I'm good. Plus, forever sounds like a really long time to play, and I think my mom's going to want me to come down for dinner soon, so." He covers his eyes for a minute. He counts to 10 probably, and they're gone when he comes back out of his shell.
Right.
And he goes, "Tony, I'm scared." And here comes Tony again with Danny's little wiggly finger. He's like, "Remember what Mr. Halloran said. It's just like pictures in a book, Danny. It isn't real." Now, in case anyone doesn't know, Tony is actually Danny from the future.
What?
That's how his shining manifests. His name is Daniel Anthony Torrance, a.k.a. Tony. And when fucking Tony, when he's not noshing on the fucking gabagool, he's warning Danny about what's going to happen at the Overlook, trying to get him to steer clear. In the remake, they just have a floating older kid representing Tony, which I fucking hate. It's stupid.
Huh.
It's dumb, but the kid in that role is actually one of the kids from the Sandlot, Phillips, from the baseball field, the rival baseball team, that tells Ham, "You bob for apples in the toilet, and you like it."
Yeah, the main.
Yeah, and then Ham fires back with, "You play ball like a girl."
Except for Rodriguez, you're all a disgrace to the game.
So
Wow.
we cut to Monday here, where Wendy and Danny are watching a movie in the lobby. Somehow. And I say that because the TV doesn't seem to be plugged in.
Mm-hmm. That's arguable.
But this
We don't
is
see it, yeah.
this is not appropriate programming for Danny Torrance, because the movie they're watching is called The Summer of 42, which is apparently one of Kubrick's favorite films. But it's about this lady whose husband has been sent to fight in World War II, another reference to that. But this kid is trying to move in on this dude's woman, like, "Hey, I'm sure your husband probably isn't coming back, so, like, we should probably fuck or whatever."
Yeah, nice.
And when the lady says in the movie, "How can I repay you?" he's thinking, "Oh, I got some ideas." But again, another reference to World War II and another reference to the number 42, which we know from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is the answer to everything.
I guess so.
Just little interesting bits here and there.
Right.
So everything looks so fucking cold in this scene in the hotel. But eventually, though, Danny asks, "Oh, hey, can I go to the apartment and get my fire engine?" And she's like, "Your dad just went to bed a few hours ago. I don't think I'd risk it. Just wait until later." But he's like, "Oh, come on, Ma. I won't make a sound. I promise I'll tiptoe.
Not now. Daddy's asleep.
But he says he's going to tiptoe. Now, why do we have fingertips but not toe tips, but we can tiptoe but not tip finger? Anyway, eventually Wendy caves and lets Danny go. But she tells him, now really don't make a sound and hurry back because I'm making lunch soon. And we cut to Danny walking into the apartment, trying to be as quiet as he can, wearing this kick-ass Mickey Mouse, kicking a football sweater.
Yeah, turns out Dad's not asleep, though.
No, he fucking walks into the apartment, and Jack is sitting on the edge of the bed, staring off into space. When Danny sees him, he fucking freezes.
Right.
He's like, can I go to my room and get my fire engine? And he's like, no, come here for a minute first. No fucking thanks.
Ew.
Oh, stop.
No.
But
Why don't you come over here for a second?
Here's the mirror coming into play again. We see Danny and Jack and Jack's reflection. Like, what would your reaction be as Danny in this moment? Like, come here for a minute. Like, nah, the way you're looking at me right now, I'll tell you what, I don't even need the fire engine anymore. I'm just going to go back downstairs.
Right, yeah.
But he's fucking staring holes through this kid, just like Wendy earlier, and he picks him up and puts him on his lap. How's it going, Doc?
Oh, here we go. The awesome fucking dialogue between father and son.
Yeah.
Dad? Yes.
Yeah, he goes, oh, I'm okay. Are you having a good time? Yes, Dad. Good. I want you to have a good time. I am, Dad. Like,
yeah.
Anything
good.
I got to say to get the fuck out of this situation. But he's like, Dad?
Yeah.
Do you feel bad? He's like, no, I'm just a little tired. Then why don't you go to sleep? I can't. I have too much to do. Dad?
Yeah.
Do you like this hotel?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It all gets fucking creepy here.
Yeah.
I do. Yes, I do. I love it.
Yeah. Don't you? And he goes, oh, I guess so. He goes, good. I want you to like it here. I wish we could stay here forever and ever and ever. Oh, shit. Where have I heard that before?
Right. And then, man, I don't know. He's just getting some feelings, huh? Dad, would you ever hurt Mommy or me?
Yeah, what the fuck? He's like, what do you mean? Did your mother say that to you, that I would hurt you?
Yeah, dude, his face kind of drops here, like
Yeah.
Jack's does. He's kind of like, oh,
That fucking bitch.
she just won't let it go, will he?
Right. Yeah. He goes, no, Dad. She didn't tell me anything like that. This kid looks fucking terrified, though. He goes,
Yeah.
are you sure? Yes, Dad.
I'm fucking terrified.
He goes, I love you, Danny. I love you more than anything else in the whole world. And I'd never do anything to hurt you.
Yeah, drop the fucking kid, Jack.
Yeah, step away from the child.
Yeah.
He goes, you know that, don't you? He goes, yes, Dad. But the look Jack's giving this kid through this whole thing and the way he's talking is a completely different fucking story.
It's his fucking eyebrows.
It's got a lot to do with his eyebrows. Yeah, man. But we cut to Wednesday. We see the hotel exterior again for a minute, and this place is fucking covered in snow. But inside, Danny's playing on the second floor near room 237 with a bunch of trucks and toys and, cars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Making the shittiest fake car sounds ever. He just sounds like he's doing mouth farts.
Yeah.
But conspiracy theory alert. First of all, the way Danny is positioned on the floor is right inside of one of those red hexagons
Mm-hmm.
with the brown path away from it leading out in front of Danny. And as he's rolling one of his trucks along, a tennis ball rolls right up that brown path and stops right before it gets to him, which had to take a ton of takes to get right. But we cut to a shot from behind Danny playing right outside the elevator, and that brown line is now leading away from Danny but behind him. And then we cut back to the straight-on view of Danny. We see that brown line is gone, and he's now, like, closed in, suggesting he's trapped. Like, he's trapped in the hotel with this crazy fucking dad monster.
Okay.
But Danny is also wearing a new sweater with a rocket on it, and not just any rocket, the Apollo 11 rocket, which, of course, in July 1969 sent Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the moon. Now, I'm sure you've heard the controversy suggesting that the moon landing footage we see was actually faked and directed on a soundstage by none other than Mr. Stanley Kubrick. Now, here's Danny, scared by the ball that seems to have come rolling out of nowhere, and he stands up calling out to his mom, but then he walks forward looking for her until we see that room 237 is open with the key hanging in the lock.
Right.
And that's another suggestion from one of these conspiracy theorists that when we see the key card, the capitalized letters on the card are ROOM, and then there's the capital N and the abbreviation for the word number. It's a big N and a tiny O. And then, in this Room 237 documentary, this guy suggests that A, The moon is exactly 237,000 miles from Earth, which is incorrect and stupid. Since the moon takes a path that's elliptical around the Earth, therefore the distance is constantly changing. Hence, tides and shit. It moves closer, it moves away. That's the whole thing. But also, with those capitalized letters, the only words you can make from that are moon and room. So that's Kubrick admitting to faking the moon landing, especially along with Danny wearing that Apollo shirt. I figured out one more word you can make from those letters as I was sitting there watching 237. Oh, yeah, the only words you can make are moon and room. And I was like, what about moron?
Yeah. Yep. Kind of reaching there, pal.
But this guy in the doc is trying to say, this is Kubrick telling us this is where it all goes down. This is where things have to be hidden and lied about, etc. Room 237, by the way, is not verified evidence of anything. I mentioned this is all just like, let's have some fun watching these crazy conspiracy theorists. But he's saying this is where it all went down. This is where he faked it or whatever.
Right.
But Danny walks right past the key and into room 237. Oh, fuck. And we cut to Wendy looking at a chart down in the basement, trying to figure out some electrical shit, what Jack should be doing.
Yeah.
But he's too busy sleeping on the fucking job and having a nightmare at his desk.
Some kind of maintenance check shit,
Yeah, holding the fucking clipboard.
Do something, Jack.
For real. But all Jack is doing is sleeping at his desk he's supposed to be typing at.
Right.
And Wendy hears him and comes running. And it should be noted real quick that the color of Jack's typewriter has now changed for no reason whatsoever.
I didn't even notice. Damn.
And Jack is screaming his ass off at this table, and Wendy sprints in calling out to him. She wakes him up, knocking him out of his chair, and he falls to the floor drooling. And she's like, honey, what's wrong? And he's looking around kind of in a daze, and he goes, I had the most terrible nightmare I ever had. I dreamed that I killed you and Danny, but I didn't just kill you. I cut you up into little pieces. I must be losing my mind. Yeah, you must be to tell your timid wife something like that. How about literally anything else?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even have said anything,
A monster was chasing me, whatever.
Let's just hope it's not reoccurring. Then we can talk about it later,
Yeah. She tells him, everything gwine be airy, and she helps him up.
She does not, actually.
And this is the first time we see him wearing that cool red jacket, too, like the classic image of Jack with his red jacket on.
Right.
But she gets him back up into the chair. That's about the time we see Danny start to creep in, sucking his thumb, and his shirt is torn.
Yeah, why are you sucking your thumb, kid?
Because he's fucking traumatized now.
You should have listened to fucking Dick Halloran. Told you to stay out of room 237.
You should have eaten your breakfast. But we only see him from behind at first, closing the gap between him and his parents. Now, Wendy, not wanting Danny to see Jack like this, tells Danny, hey, everything's okay. Just go play in your room for a little while. But he won't listen. He just keeps walking slowly until she's like, Danny, mind what I say. And finally, she's like, okay, this kid ain't listening to shit. Let me grab him real quick. Just hang on for a second. Just hang out here, Jack. She runs halfway across this fucking football field of a lounge. Takes her like 8 minutes to get to Danny. And when she does, she sees him sucking his thumb, sees the torn shirt, and now she sees bruises all over his neck and cheeks. Yeah. Oh shit, what happened, little dude? You trying to pull a David Carradine in one of these room closets or what?
He's got a fucking handprint on his throat.
Yeah.
Shirt and sweater are kind of torn here.
Right. She asks what happened, but he won't answer. He's basically catatonic. So she hugs him and looks over at Jack, who's just spaced the fuck out. So naturally, she comes to the conclusion that Jack did it. She's like, you son of a bitch. You did this to him. And Jack's expression is so fucking funny, dude. He's not talking, but he just keeps like, he's got a hand raised up, and the look on his face is just like, who, me? Couldn't be.
Yeah, this is all crazy. I mean, obviously just woke up Jack, but there's nobody fucking else here. So that's sorry, Jack, but if Wendy didn't do it, it was you.
Right, exactly.
And been boozing again? What's going on?
But she picks up Danny, who in this moment is just a dummy because they didn't want to traumatize the kid. But it's also hilarious. The fact that Danny's just totally limp, his little feet dangling in the breeze, and one arm is bent but not moving at all. Right. Clearly a mannequin. It's a fantastic mannequin, but a mannequin nonetheless. But Jack just kind of scowls and watches him run out. And we fade to the gold room hallway where Jack rounds the corner making these weird angry gesticulations as he stalks into the ballroom looking for booze.
Yeah. Dude, you're not helping your case. If she caught you, like, she just accused you. She stormed off with the kid. If anybody caught a glimpse of you, like, storming down this hallway right now.
Yeah. To the only place that booze could be.
Having a tantrum.
Yeah.
Also. He's like fucking...
Yeah.
It's like so dramatic, like what?
He was doing the Thriller dance?
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
Well, he turns the lights on and the fucking screechy score intensifies again. He walks over to the bar and sits down. And he puts his head in his hands and he's like, God, I'd give anything for a drink. I'd give my goddamn soul for just a glass of beer. Oh, you said the magic words, buddy. Give my soul sounds like a verbal contract to me.
Yeah. What do? I don't have one.
You ginger.
Yeah.
He's got his face in his hands, but then he recognizes a presence in the room and he looks up, staring straight into the camera, and he goes, well, hi, Lloyd. A little slow tonight, isn't it? And he busts up laughing. Obviously, there's no one around for miles. But that's when we cut to actually see Lloyd, the bartender, standing here. We thought maybe for a second he's just cracking up, but nope, there's definitely a dude standing here.
Right.
Which could also be in his mind, I guess, but it's real to him. He goes, yes, it is, Mr. Torrance. What'll it be? And he goes, I'm awful glad you asked me that, Lloyd, because I just happen to have 2 20s and 2 10s right here in my wallet. I was afraid they were going to be there till next April. So here's what. You slip me a bottle of bourbon, a little glass, and some ice. You can do that for me, can't you, Lloyd? You're not too busy, are you? He goes, you set him up and I'll knock him back, Lloyd, one by one. And here's where we get the white man's burden line, which, is he talking about drinking itself? Or the fact that he's drinking because of the burden he feels as a white man? Because that would be completely fucked. Are we talking about a literary reference here? Because in 1899, Rudyard Kipling wrote a poem containing that phrase, expressing the idea that while Western nations had a moral duty to colonize, govern, and civilize lesser non-white peoples, which made colonialism seem like a noble pursuit or a benevolent, selfless sacrifice for progress. But once again, connecting the idea that maybe Kubrick had the intent of framing this movie as a history lesson about the genocide and relocation of the native peoples, is it, it's the white man's burden to boot all these savages off their land to make it better for everyone.
Right.
I mean, who's to say that, what's better? I might rather live their way of life,
Right.
But anyway, Lloyd pours Jack his drink and Jack checks his wallet to find that the money actually isn't there. And he goes, Lloyd, I'm temporarily light. Uh-oh. How's my credit in this joint anyway? He goes, oh, your credit's fine, Mr. Torrance. He goes, that's swell. I like you, Lloyd. I always liked you. You were always the best of them. The best goddamn bartender from Timbuktu to Portland, Maine. Or Portland, Oregon, for that matter. And he goes, thank you for saying so. And here's where we get some time tricks going on here. He goes, here's to 5 miserable months on the wagon and all the irreparable harm that it's caused me. And he takes a drink with his eyes closed, and they almost roll back into his head as if he's orgasming. But you can see the change in his face as soon as he takes that drink. Something clicks. And now he's back in that frame of mind, and the hotel's kind of got him now.
Right.
But Lloyd asks how things are going, and that's where the bitch session about Wendy and Danny starts. He goes, things could be a whole lot better. He mentions that it's a problem with the old sperm bank upstairs. What the fuck?
Wow.
That's what you call Wendy behind her back, dude?
Guess so.
Apparently, it's not what you do to her back. You need to work on your pullout game, dog. But he insists it's nothing I can't handle. And Lloyd goes, oh, women, can't live with them, can't live without them. And he goes, words of wisdom, Lloyd, words of wisdom. And he does a little Kevin McAllister eyebrow wiggle.
Right.
And Jack has himself a little come to Jesus talk here. He goes, I never laid a hand on him. I didn't. Like, he seems like he's already fucking hammered here. He goes, I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head. I love the little son of a bitch. I'd do anything for him, any fucking thing for him, but that bitch, as long as I live, she'll never let me forget what happened.
Just so fucked, like you said. It's almost like he's right back. Like, usually when you're an alcoholic, you kind of have a tolerance, but if you're really bad, your tolerance doesn't really fucking matter. You're just kind of always off the wagon. You know what I mean? But yeah, that one drink, and he sounded almost like a drunken rant. Yeah. Kind of already, Well,
he kind of looks around here to make sure nobody's looking before admitting, okay, so maybe, hypodermically speaking, asking for a friend. Maybe I did hurt him one teensy little time, okay? But it was an accident.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And here's where we see that Jack must be really losing it because he goes, look, it could have happened to anybody, and it was 3 goddamn years ago. Fucking what, dude? You guys have been in this hotel for a couple months at this point, right? Or close to it, give or take. Right before you came here, Wendy was talking to that doctor and said this incident occurred 5 months prior to you coming here. So it's been less than a year.
Right.
What are you talking about this 3-year shit?
He's fucking losing it?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
But I love Jack's delivery on this story, too. He goes, the little fucker had thrown my papers all over the floor, and all I tried to do was pull him up. a momentary loss of muscular coordination, a few extra foot-pounds of energy per second. And he makes a little snap gesture suggesting the bone broke.
Right.
Now, here's where the scene changes, but it reminded me of something from the book with the connection to alcoholism and the incidents occurring connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
Things, hushed up that we don't talk about. In the remake, we get an introduction to Jack's friend Al Shockley, who is his AA sponsor.
Oh, shit.
And the guy that got him the job here at the Overlook through his contacts.
Oh.
Now,
okay.
there was a story involving these two from the book back in their heavy drinking days, when they were driving around one night on the way back from somewhere, and they're hauling ass down this dark road when suddenly a little boy on a bike is right in front of them, and they just flatten his ass.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they cover it up. They fucking like toss the body and the bike in the woods and shit. And fucking. Now, obviously, you've got to kind of condense or abridge the information in the book. Not everything can make it into the movie, or you have to turn it into a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just one more insight into who Jack is and how bad his affliction regarding alcohol has been in the past.
I got you.
How dangerous it has been and can be. But back to the scene, as soon as Jack tells Lloyd this, he hears Wendy screaming from the hallway. We cut to her running with a baseball bat, which she's holding like a complete idiot. It's exactly wrong.
Right. When she comes running in here, you notice the bar is completely empty now.
Right.
Something that I noticed right away, like where's his glass?
Right.
His glass and everything's gone. So nothing was really happening.
Yeah. But why do they even have this bat at the hotel? It's not like they've got enough people to make a full team and there's fucking 8 feet of snow outside.
Right.
But anyway, she runs into the ballroom to find Jack sitting at the bar. There's someone else in the hotel with us. There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
And it's impressive how much further they go with blaming Jack for hurting Danny in the remake. Here she's already given up on the thought, like completely buying into Danny's story from the jump. Oh, there's a crazy lady in one of the rooms. And you can't trust what this kid's saying. He's talking about a little boy in his mouth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But she tells Jack the crazy lady tried to strangle Danny, and he fucking looks up at her and he goes, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Yeah, dude.
She's like, "Nah, dog, I went up to one of the rooms. Danny went up to one of the rooms. There's a crazy lady in the bathtub." "Ooh, the bathtub, you say? Maybe I better go check it out." He goes, "Okay, which room is it?" And his face is so angry and whacked out here. We cut to a crazy old news station intro from Channel 10 in Miami, where Newswatch with Glenn Rinker and Ann Bishop, the award-winning Newswatch team. Apparently this was a real news anchor in Miami, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But we're seeing this Miami newscast because if you recall, that's where good old Dick was going for the winter.
Right.
And this shot is great because as we're seeing the intro, the camera pulls back from the TV and we just see Dick's feet on either side of it.
Yeah, dude. Fucking gross ass feet out of the view.
And then wherever he's staying in Miami, he's got a couple of naked pictures of black women with these huge fucking afros. Like they're framed paintings, actually, not photographs. But damn, what kind of kinky sleeping skeet are you staying out at here, Dick?
I figured this is just his house. Like, hell yeah,
like a
dude.
condo, yeah.
Yeah, can I have that poster above my bed?
But the news anchor's talking about the heat wave in Miami. Meanwhile, in the Rocky Mountain states, they're getting blasted with snow, 10 inches in just a few hours. Holy fuck.
That's what she said.
In a few hours. I don't know about that. But he says travel in the Rockies is almost impossible. Airports are shut down, which will be really bad news in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so bad, 3 people have already died, in fact, by exposure to freezing winds.
Damn.
Like, oh, wait a minute. How many people did that family at the hotel have?
He starts to get that blank stare going on like Danny, man.
Yeah. Another shot of Dick in bed, and he's got this naked lady above him. And we start zooming in on his face, and that high-pitched whine in the score comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And we see on his face his expression starts to change into one of dread and surprise. And it turns out this is Danny shining to him from multiple states away. Dick's eyes are super wide as he gets visions of the key in the door in room 237.
Mm-hmm.
One of Danny, I think actually in this moment, reaching out to Dick mentally. His little face is shaking and he's drooling all over his red PJs. Back to 237, we get that great carpet in that room too, which I love the green and purple together, but some people have said that the purple part looks like a dick and the green part looks like a vagina, so it's indicating the evidence of, penetration. Possible further evidence that Danny was sexually abused.
Disagree.
It's just a carpet dog.
Yeah, so this is Jack actually heading into the room. He pushes open the door for this all green bathroom.
Yeah, man. And we do indeed see someone sitting in the tub behind the curtain. And this is when it's revealed that Jack is visiting the room. He sees the woman in the tub. He looks shocked, as you would be.
Oh, hell yeah, she got her motherfucking titties out. You know?
And I hate this terrible green and gold color scheme in this bathroom. All the bells and whistles in here, though, they've got a bidet, which is where two things occurred to me. First, how do you flush this toilet? There's not a tank on the back of it. I don't see a flush lever or anything anywhere. And then as for the bidet, it's a separate piece from the toilet. Like, I have a bidet attachment on my toilet, which it turns out is super convenient. But like, for this situation in this bathroom, you'd have to get up from the toilet to go to the bidet. That seems extremely inconvenient.
With a shitty ass.
With a shitty ass.
You got to walk with a shitty ass on the other side of the room.
Maybe old school bidets aren't that great.
Was it next to the toilet or across the way?
It was like multiple feet from the toilet. Yeah.
And then maybe for the toilet, maybe it had a flusher on the floor and you could hit it with your foot. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I've seen those before too.
Yeah.
But this beautiful young woman in the tub pulls back the curtain, totally naked. And Jack's face lights up. Don't shake your titties at me,
big
Jason.
old fucking titties.
All the lust in the world in his eyes as she steps out. And he's like, oh, the things I'm going to do to you in your huge 70s bush.
Dude, he looks kind of pale here. And I'm like, is he drunk? He's drunk again.
Maybe he's just white and cold.
Drunk on that ghost booze.
She's real tall, too. Like, he's only slightly taller than her.
Yeah.
But he walks over to her and she rubs on him a little bit before pulling him in for an embrace and a big old kiss. They start making out hard until he realizes she's not participating much in this. So he opens his eyes and looks up to see in the mirror that now she's changed. She's old as fuck and her body's like decomposing. She's got a bunch of rotten spots all over it.
Right.
Fucking gross, dude. And he freaks out. The old lady now starts laughing her ass off as she walks toward him. And he's now like stumbling backwards out of the room. We get a couple of shots intercut in here of her nasty body rising up from the tub, which are pretty unsettling.
Right.
And meanwhile, Danny's showing all of this to Dick.
He's fucking shaking again.
Old shaky face.
Yeah.
All the way down in Miami, though, dude. This kid is fucking powerful.
Well, he's on the spectrum for sure.
Jesus. I also love the shot of Jack exiting the room in the darkened hallway. Why is it dark now? I don't know. But he leaves the key in the door and runs away.
Yeah, he shuts the door and fucking gets out of there, man.
He fucking
need to.
Beats feet, man, yeah. We cut back to Dick making a phone call from his little condo or whatever, trying to get a hold of the Torrances at the Overlook. Can't get through, though. Phone lines are down.
Right.
So we cut back to Wendy in the caretaker apartment, pacing back and forth, when there's a knock at the door, and it's Jack. She lets him in, asks if he found anything, but he lies to her here. Nope, nothing at all. I didn't see one goddamn thing. And she's like, what? You checked the room, right? And Danny's asleep, so Jack reassures Wendy, oh, he'll be fine in the morning. She asks again, was it the right room? Maybe Danny made a mistake in telling them the room number, but Jack's like, no, man, it was definitely that one. The key was in the door was open, the lights were on. And she's like, well, what about the bruises on his neck? Somebody did that to him. And here's where Jack pipes in with, okay, you're going to want to sit down for this, Wendy. Are you sitting down? Good. Wendy, I think he did it to himself.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, man.
She's like, no. Once you rule out his version of what happened, though, there's no other explanation, is there? It wouldn't be that different from the little episode he had before we came up here, now would it? And we cut back to Danny in his room, and turns out he's not sleeping. His eyes are wide open, fucking frozen in this terrified expression. And we get a quick glimpse of the red rum on the door from later.
Right.
Wendy says, whatever the explanation is, maybe we should get Danny out of here. And Jack fucking loses it on her again.
Dude, yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind? He says, you mean just leave the hotel?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Jack, maybe you do need to leave the hotel.
What's more important, dude?
Yeah. Finishing the job. Fuck the kid.
We cut back to Danny's silent scream, another shot of the blood elevator, which I think if we haven't described this enough before, it's like all this blood comes pouring out of the left seam of the elevator and rushes all over the lobby floor. Gallons and gallons and gallons and fucking gallons of blood. Mm-hmm. I think it was the most fake blood used in a film production until maybe the 2013 Evil Dead remake.
I think so, yeah.
Or maybe there was a more recent one that surpassed even that, but there's so much blood that it comes out and starts pushing the furniture around and eventually knocks into the camera.
Yeah.
And of course, Kubrick being Kubrick, they filmed this scene 3 times, each of which took 9 days to set up.
Damn.
I did end up looking it up. I'm going to do a quick ranking here. Most blood used in movies, turns out. This movie only used 200 gallons. But in 1980, no one had ever done that.
Right.
You know, that was the most at that point. Peter Jackson's Brain Dead or Dead Alive in 1992 only used 88 gallons, so a fair amount under this. Then we've got It Chapter 2 from 2019 using 5,000 gallons of blood for Bev's bathroom scene.
What?
Then there's The Substance from last year with 36,000 gallons. The Evil Dead remake from 2013 with 50,000, claiming the number 3 spot.
No.
And then tied for first and second, both Piranha 3D from 2010 and Iron Lung reporting around 80,000 gallons. As it stands right now, Piranha fucking 3D is on top.
That's insane.
Right.
I've never seen Piranha 3D. Have you?
And neither have I, but I think you'd like it.
I think so, yeah.
I think like isn't the poster just a big old pair of titties?
Yeah. I don't fucking know. Wow.
Piranha 3D. Yeah, most blood and most boobs. Dude, when you see that, that's going to be your favorite fucking movie.
I'm fucking watching it tonight.
Well, back to Danny's freak out here. We see the blood elevator. We get a freak out from Jack as well. He's speaking quietly so as not to wake up Danny, but he fucking lets loose on Wendy here. He goes, "It's so fucking typical of you to create a problem like this when I finally have a chance to accomplish something, when I'm really into my work. I could really write my own ticket if I went back to Boulder now, couldn't I? Shoveling out driveways, working at a car wash. Does any of that appeal to you? Wendy, I have let you fuck up my life so far, but I'm not going to let you fuck this up." And he storms off, slamming the door against the wall, but leaving it open.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Wendy just slumps over crying on the bed. Like, fuck, man. I'm just trying to, like, be here for our little boy.
Yeah, dude. Just leave your wife crying.
But Jack goes down to the service hallway and he throws a bunch of pots and pans off the counter all over the place.
Trash in the fucking kitchen.
And then as he walks out into that corridor, he comes into the lobby area by more elevators. And he sees a bunch of balloons and streamers laying around everywhere like there was a huge party here last night.
Party right now, brother.
Yeah, there's also some music and singing faintly in the background. We cut back for a second to Dick making a second phone call, this time to the Forest Service in Colorado. He tells the dude who he is and he's trying to reach the hotel, but the phone lines are down. He goes, "I hate to put you through any trouble, but could you please radio over to the Overlook to check on him?" Dude's like, "Yeah, sure, call me back in 20 minutes. And we cut back to Jack going back to the ballroom, where we now hear Midnight, the Stars, and You playing for the first time. That's the name of this old-timey song here.
Okay.
And this time when Jack walks into the ballroom, there's about 300 fucking people in here, all from the 20s by the looks of things. And he walks in and he's greeted by name by the maitre d'. And he strolls right back up to the bar to say, "Oh, hi, Lloyd." He goes, "What'll it be, sir?" And he goes, "Hair of the dog that bit me, Lloyd." "Oh, bourbon on the rocks? Yep, that'll do her." And Jack kind of dances around his seat and grabs some peanuts to pop into his mouth. He's having a great time.
Oh, hell yeah. He's getting a drink, brother.
But then here's where he pulls his wallet out and grabs some money out to give it to Lloyd. Interesting that there is money here now where there wasn't before.
That's what I thought, yeah.
But Lloyd just waves a hand at him. He's like, "Oh, no charge, Mr. Torrance. Your money's no good here. Orders from the house." And he goes, "Well, Lloyd, I'm the kind of man likes to know who's buying their drinks." And Lloyd just says, "Well, it's not a matter that concerns you at this point." Jack smiles and is like, "Oh, fuck it. Anything you say, Lloyd." And he gets up from his seat and dances around some more until this clumsy fuck comes stumbling through and spills Advocat all over Jack's awesome red jacket. Leaves him standing there holding the glasses.
Right.
But Jack's like, "Oh, that's no big deal." But this guy tells him it tends to stain. Apparently, Advocat is a Scandinavian liqueur made of eggs, sugar, and brandy.
Yeah.
So like an eggnoggy holiday drink.
Right.
And the server suggests that they go to the washroom and get some water on it. And this is hilarious. Jack's like, "Oh, hey, look, it looks like you got some on yourself there too, Jeevesy old boy." And he pats him on the back, leaving more of the shit on the back of the guy's jacket. There's like he planted a kick me sign on him.
Yeah, what a dick. That's funny though.
But the dude's like, "Oh, don't worry about me. You're the important one," which is where Jack's like, "Oh, I intended to change my jacket anyway before the fish and goose soiree this evening." And he opens the door for the waiter going into this striking bloody red bathroom.
Yeah, dude, sweet.
And he calls him Jeevesy again, but he sits his bourbon and Advocat down so that Jeeves here can get to work. And this guy starts wiping Jack down, and Jack asks his name, which is where the little flag is raised in his mind. "Delbert Grady, sir." He goes, "Hey, that name sounds familiar. Grady? Delbert Grady? Haven't I seen you somewhere before?" "Why, no, sir, I don't believe so." He goes, "Weren't you once the caretaker here?"
He's not very good at being coy.
No, dude, not at all. Literally the same response from Grady, but he's like, "Hey, you a married man, are you, Grady?" "Yep, wife and 2 daughters." He goes, And where are they now?
Oh, they're around somewhere.
Yeah, not really sure right now.
Sure they're not floating down the river, Grady?
No, they're stacked up in that room in the West Wing.
Yeah.
Jack won't let him off that easy, though. He's like, hey, man, I recognize you. You were the caretaker here, suggesting that even though the name was different, sounds like Jack saw his picture somewhere, probably going through the shit in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But with the name change, people suggest it might be the same entity tied to the hotel, manifesting in different ways. More importantly, though, this is where I noticed, dude, what's up with these toilet stalls? Not a door on it, any single one of them to be found, just open to the rest of the bathroom. Like, you could be taking a shit and staring at somebody washing their hands.
Do you remember when we were like real little kids and we were in elementary school and there wasn't doors on the stalls?
I don't remember that. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Not having doors on the stalls? Fuck that.
I think even, I think the middle school that I went to school and it's tore down now, it was super fucking old. But I don't remember there being stall doors on those either.
Right.
The school was built in like 1905 or something.
Huh.
It was old as fuck.
That's a terrible idea. But it would have been great if there was someone in here when they happened to come in to fix the spill situation. Just a dude sitting there like, oh, hey.
I think a lot of the times too, like if you went down into some troubled neighborhoods or something, that maybe some of the doors are removed too, so people can't
fuck off in there and do nefarious shit.
Yeah, who fucking knows?
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
I guess that makes sense.
But yeah, strange. I like to shit with the door. It's cool.
I prefer that. Yeah. Generally speaking.
You come back to work on fucking Monday and all the doors are gone from the stalls.
I've never tried to take a shit outside. Maybe that might be nice without having a door. As long as you were, in the clear enough. I don't know. But anyway.
Anybody could walk up at any time. It's crazy.
Jack insists, though. He goes, I saw your picture. You chopped your wife and daughter and he says singular daughter here. Doesn't mention two, just one daughter. You chopped up your wife and daughter into little bits and then you blew your brains out. And he looks so proud here like he cracked the case. And Grady's response is great too. He goes, that's funny. I have no recollection of that at all, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's strange. Wasn't me, dude. I don't know.
Right. But he goes, Mr. Grady, you were the caretaker here. And they're kind of fucking like having a standoff here because it's like, oh, I'm sorry to differ with you, sir, but you are the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker.
Right.
I should know, sir. I've always been here. And they stare each other down for a minute before Grady offers, did you know, Mr. Torrance, that your son is attempting to bring an outside party into this situation? Did you know that? Jack's like, what? Okay, who? And that is where we get the fucking racist shootout. They drop the N-word a few times, like unnecessarily said 3 times in a row.
Right.
Before Grady specifies that it's a cook. He's like, oh, I know that guy. Jack's like, all right, but how? We don't have a phone. The radio wouldn't play a factor. But Grady says, your son has a very great talent. I don't think you're aware how great it is, but he's attempting to use that very talent against your will. And he goes, well, he is a very willful boy. And Grady's like, a rather naughty boy, if I may be so bold.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Oh, the grabber's back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a naughty boy. But Jack blames the mom. He goes, she interferes. And Grady says, perhaps they need a good talking to, if you don't mind my saying so. Perhaps a bit more. As Jason raises his hand. He goes, my girls, sir, they didn't care for the Overlook much at first. One of them actually stole a pack of matches and tried to burn it down, but I corrected them, sir.
Yeah, Jesus tried to burn it down.
And when my wife tried to prevent me from doing my duty, I corrected her.
You know what I was watching this with my wife, and I fucking paused and said, my wife tried to prevent me from doing my duty. Fucking corrected her ass, too.
Yeah, and I'm sure Ashley was like, fucking excuse me?
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to correct me, Jason?
Yeah, right. Did you hear that?
I can just see the conversation right now. But there's a moment of recognition in Jack's face when we cut back to Wendy smoking yet another cigarette, trying to come up with a plan in her head, and she's kind of pacing back and forth. She's like, we have the snowcat. If the weather breaks, we might be able to get down the mountain. I can call the forest rangers first and tell them we're coming so they can wait for us. They can start searching just in case we didn't make it. And if Jack won't come with us, well, we'll just have to tell him we're going by ourselves. There you go, Wendy. You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, I bet you that'll go smooth.
And she's in the middle of her soliloquy here, but in the other room, Danny starts screaming red rum.
Yeah.
And he's got this angry 1,000-yard stare going on. And that's where we find out it's apparently not Danny, because he looks at her and says, Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance. Oh, shit, it's fucking Tony.
Yeah, fucking Tony's in town. All right.
Where's the wiggly finger, though, man? If it was a fucking Tony like that, instead of a wiggly finger, it should have been one of these, you know?
Yeah, fucking Danny's gone, all right? Fucking Tony's here, Wendy.
Well, she's like, yeah, she's trying to wake him up. You're just having a bad dream. Everything's okay. And he goes, Danny can't wake up, Mrs. Torrance. Oh, fuck.
Hey, yo, Mrs. T.
Hey, Mrs. T. She tries to snap him out of it, but he says, Danny's gone away, Mrs. Torrance. And she just fucking breaks down, dude. Turns out Danny has crawled into his shell and he's letting Tony take the wheel for a while, fucking pilot his body, which it's safer being someone else is a line from the remake when Danny's wearing a mask. One of those ballroom masks he finds, and he's like, sometimes it's just better being someone else.
Wow.
So yeah, he's fucking letting Jesus/Tony take the wheel. We fade to Jack walking down the hall and hearing the Forest Service trying to reach him on the radio.
Oh, no.
But instead of answering, he pops the cover off the radio and tosses it on the floor before yanking all of the fuses out of it. Oops, no more radio.
Okay, 3 little capacitors, and that's it. You are fucked.
In the remake, though, he actually beats the shit out of it with a mallet and blames it on Danny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
But back to Dick Halloran checking in on the Forest Service again. Hey, were you able to reach the Overlook? Nope, no dice. The ranger says, well, it's possible they were too far away from the radio or it's turned off. I can try again later. And Dick hangs up, and we get a much more specific timestamp here. Instead of Tuesday or Saturday, we get 8 a.m.
Yeah, this motherfucker is on a flight. Heading that way. And I mean,
yeah,
good thing.
It's cool that in the remake, there's an interesting graphic that just says last day. But I like this a lot better because we're speeding everything up. Mm-hmm. Instead of explicitly saying, hey, this is the last day, we're fucking about to get into some shit. Right. We get 8 a.m. and then later we get 4 p.m. and it keeps going like that. But at 8 a.m., Dick is on a flight next to this woman checking out a fashion magazine, and he gets the attention of the flight attendant and asks what time they're supposed to be in Denver. She tells him 8:20. But it's like, fucking, what time did this flight leave? Like 3:30 a.m.?
Right. He's almost there already.
Yeah. We cut back to Jack typing away once again, and then we get the plane touching down in the snowy, slippery runway in Denver.
Dude, did you notice how big the fire was in the fireplace while Jack was typing right here?
Yeah, dude, it looks great.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I know this
where's
place
all the
is
wood
huge,
you're stuffing into that fucking thing?
Somebody put that motherfucker out, dude.
Yeah. Spark's gonna lay on a carpet and fucking burn this place down.
Fucking damn, son.
We cut to Durkin's Auto Supply, where Larry Durkin himself walks in and picks up the ringing telephone. He goes, hey, Larry, this is Dick Halloran. Listen, I got a problem I need your help with. I need to get up to the Overlook Hotel. What's the weather like?
The Overlook Hotel.
The hotel. Larry tells him, things are moving in town, but the mountain roads are totally blocked. So Dick goes, whoa, that means I'm going to need a snowcat. Can you fix me up with one? And Larry wants to know why he's got to get up there so bad, and Dick drops a great line. He goes, the people taking care of the place turned out to be completely unreliable assholes.
Yeah. They might need replaced.
Yeah, he goes, Ullman phoned me last night, which is a lie. And he goes, I'm supposed to get up there to see if they need replaced. He's going to rent a car. It'll take him 5 hours to get to Durkin. Holy shit.
It's because the roads are fucked already,
right.
You know?
And Larry says he'll get him fixed up, and we fade to Dick driving through a damn blizzard. Apparently the chain law is in effect, we hear on the radio, meaning you have to chain your tires to drive.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad I don't live somewhere like that.
Dude, yeah.
Fuck that.
This is where we see Kubrick's fuck you to Stephen King, allegedly. So in this movie, once again, they're driving a yellow Volkswagen Bug. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
In the book, it's red.
Oh.
Yeah. So right here, Dick drives past an accident on the road where an overturned semi-truck has smashed a red Volkswagen Bug and is laying on top of it. So some say this is Stanley Kubrick saying, hey, this isn't your vehicle anymore, it's mine. And look at this, I wrecked yours, you son of a bitch.
Wow.
Nana, nana, boo-boo.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why Stanley Kubrick would have had such a fucking bone to pick with Stephen King. He chose his work to
you're lucky
adapt.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think it was like him saying fuck you. I think maybe it was a nod to the book, right, since they drove a red one, you know.
Right.
But here we cut to Wendy and Tony hanging out in the apartment watching a Roadrunner cartoon.
Yeah.
He's got some chocolate milk, but he's just fucking staring at this point still.
Dude, he's pretty much catatonic. You know what I mean? Wendy's cigarette from the beginning of the movie is still going.
She tells him, listen, stay here and watch your cartoons. I'm going to go talk to your dad for a minute. And he wiggles a finger at her. Yes, Mrs. Torrance. And she goes, okay, I'm gonna lock the door behind me. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. And she slowly creeps out of the room, taking that baseball bat with her, and makes her way to the Colorado Lounge. But of course, Jack is nowhere to be found. He has done no work on this hotel. He has done no writing this entire time, basically. He's done typing. He's done typing. He hasn't done writing.
He's done a lot of work, but has nothing to show for it, evidently, you know. All work and no play my ass. Quit being a little bitch, man.
Well, this chair he's been writing in looks terribly fucking uncomfortable, by the way. I wouldn't fucking want to write there either.
This guy a pillow for his ass.
Walk your fucking typewriter over to one of the comfy chairs, man. Maybe you'd be a little happier. You've been sitting on this fucking spindly wood piece of shit.
Right.
But she walks past the table and calls out for Jack. There's no response. But here's where we get the reveal of what he's been writing, and it ain't fucking good. She sees the typewriter. The paper he's been typing just says, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, over and over and over again. But there are typos all over the place, missing letters, extra letters, misspelled words. She goes through this paper tray that's completely full and leafs through all these papers, and it's just the same fucking thing. But sometimes it's written in paragraph form, sometimes like dialogue, sometimes just bold lines.
Right.
Apparently, Kubrick spent months very meticulously typing this out. Some claim the typos to be errors, but I guarantee it's intentional. It just shows that Jack has basically been crazy this whole time. Anytime we've seen him sitting typing at this table, this is what he's been typing over and over and over.
Right.
And the typos suggest the blank nature in which he's been doing it. Like, I can imagine him just sitting there, staring straight ahead, not even looking at the typewriter, typing this line over and over again, fingers just moving. It's pretty fucking trippy.
Just like blankly sending emails at work.
Right.
Thanks
and have a nice day. But it's hundreds of pages of nothing but that line.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy.
Pages and pages and pages.
She flips through the stack of papers for a bit until we get another POV shot from behind her, and Jack creeps up in the shadows. How do you like it?
Yeah. Why are you coming out of the dark like that, motherfucker?
He just came back down from 237, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. I just had a tuggy in 237. It's just back.
But she screams, but he asks again, how do you like it? He stalks toward her while she backs away, still holding the baseball bat like a complete Nimrod. He goes, what are you doing down here? She goes, I just wanted to talk to you. He goes, okay, let's talk. What do you want to talk about?
Fucking Danny gets going again. His fucking face, dude.
It's fucking terrifying here, though. Like, she totally forgets what she came to talk about because she's too fucking scared now.
Oh, yeah.
But he goes, maybe it was about Danny. And we cut to scared Danny back in the apartment. And he goes, maybe it was about him. And I like when it shows Danny listening in on a conversation. The audio on the dialogue gets like warbly and distant, like he's listening in like through astral projection or some shit.
Right.
But as he sits there listening in, he sees the blood elevator again and the red rum on the door. Back down in the lounge, Jack's like, I think we should discuss Danny. I think we should discuss what should be done with him.
Oh, man.
What should be done with him? And she's like, I don't know.
Very menacing here.
Oh, yeah. He goes, I don't think that's true. I think you have some very definite ideas about what should be done with Danny, and I'd like to know what they are.
He says, do you think that he needs to go to the doctor?
He fucking like mocks her so fucking blatantly here. She's like, I think maybe he should be taken to a doctor.
Yeah.
And he goes, you think maybe he should be taken to a doctor?
Yeah.
But the mocking doesn't stop there. She goes, yes. And he goes, when do you think maybe he should be taken to a doctor? She goes, as soon as possible? And he goes, as soon as possible!
He sticks his fucking tongue out.
Yeah. Just making fun of her. But I love him just walking her down. He goes, you think his health might be at stake? And she goes, yes. You're concerned about him. And are you concerned about me? And she goes, of course I am. And he goes, of course you are. Ever thought about my responsibilities? Have you ever had a single moment's thought about my responsibilities? Have you ever thought for a single solitary moment about my responsibilities to my employers? Has it ever occurred to you that I have agreed to look after the Overlook Hotel until May the 1st? So that's another small inconsistency. Like we mentioned earlier, they keep mentioning 5 months throughout this, but they've been here from October 30th until May. That's more like 6 months. So he keeps in on her. Does it matter to you at all that the owners of this place have placed their complete confidence and trust in me and that I have signed a letter of agreement, a contract, in which I have accepted that responsibility? Do you have the slightest idea what a moral and ethical principle is? Do you? And she's backing away from him this whole time, and here's where she starts backing up the stairs.
Right.
He goes, has it ever occurred to you what would happen to my future if I were to fail to live up to my responsibilities? Has it ever occurred to you? Has it? And here's where she starts swinging the bat at him, like, stay away from me. He's like, why? She goes, I just want to go back to my room. He goes, why? She goes, I'm very confused and I just need a chance to think things over. And he scowls at her and says, you've had your whole fucking life to think things over. What good's a few more minutes gonna do you now?
I mean, yeah.
Not about this particular situation, though. But he starts reaching up at her almost playfully. And he's like, I'm not gonna hurt you, Wendy. Darling, light of my life, I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. Like I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm just gonna bash them right the fuck in. And she keeps swinging the bat and saying, stay away from me. But hey, Wendy, if you were holding this bat correctly, maybe you would have a little more reach and a little more leverage and actually be able to connect with him.
Yeah, dude, she's kind of fucked here when she's, at least it appears so. Yeah, she can't swing for shit.
And he goes, stop swinging the bat. Put the bat down, Wendy. Wendy. He goes, give me the bat. And he starts like flicking his tongue out her here. This dude's fucking deranged.
Mm-hmm.
But finally she reaches the top of the stairs, and as she does, he reaches a hand out toward her, and she fucking whacks his hand with the bat, which he reacts to for a second, like, hey, fuck, that fucking hurt you, bitch. And then she blasts him on the dome, sending him tumbling backwards down these stairs.
Fucking dessert. Doesn't look like a very good hit, but hey, we get the point, I guess.
I mean, he also takes his fucking crazy, looks like a hell of a fall down these stairs, too. Smacking his head into whatever.
Just old.
But it fades to Jack with a bleeding wound on his head being dragged across the floor in the kitchen. He's got some drool coming out of his mouth. She must have whopped him pretty good anyway.
Yeah, dude, I'm really surprised her skinny ass can drag him this far.
That's what I said, yeah. It definitely looks like she's fucking struggling.
She's a fucking trooper, though, you know?
Yeah, she finally makes it to the pantry, but she struggles to get the door open as as Jack starts to come to. And like, hey, dumbass, take the pin out of the handle. Okay, there you go.
I was going to say, it was getting pretty fucking close, man. She barely gets him in there before he's already up on the door and knocking on it after she shuts it. And you're like, whew, suspenseful, kind of.
He wakes up with some of his humanity, it seems like, for a second again. He's like, hey, what are you doing? And then she finally gets him in, runs to the door, closes it. He realizes he's locked in now and tries to get up to, stand up to get out. But apparently he fucked up his ankle in the fall too, so he stumbles into some boxes that fall on top of him. Thank fuck it was just a couple of boxes of Rice Krispies and not like, I don't know, a box full of pickle jars or something. That might have fucking killed him. But she slides the pin back in the door outside and grabs this huge knife while he yells to be let out. And Jack just keeps banging on the door and screaming, let me out of here, God damn it, open the door. And I like the different tactics he starts to take in his desperation here. And he goes, Wendy, listen. Let me out of here and I'll forget the whole goddamn thing. It'll be just like it never happened. Which she doesn't respond to. She just keeps crying, which he can hear. So then when we cut back into the pantry, you can see his wheels turning and his expression changes. The tone of his voice, everything. And he's like, we're in this great shot from below Jack. Like I was watching the behind the scenes stuff and Kubrick was literally laying on the floor beneath Jack filming up at him.
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment, he tries to play on Wendy's sympathy saying, Wendy, baby, I think you hurt my head real bad. I'm dizzy. I need a doctor. And when we cut back out to her, you can see the guilt on her face like, oh, fuck, what if I really did fuck him up and now he's going to die in there because of me?
Right.
But he goes, honey, don't leave me in here. And that's when Wendy stands up with a little more resolve. She goes, I'm going to go now. I'm going to try to get Danny down to Sidewinder and the Snowcat today. I'll bring back a doctor. All of which she says through tears and sobs.
Right.
We cut back into the pantry, and all of a sudden, all the crazy's back in Jack's eyes. He goes, Wendy? Yes? He goes, you got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere. Go check out the Snowcat in the radio, and you'll see what I mean. And he keeps on yelling, go check it out. And he's laughing maniacally saying all this, banging on the door again. The look on her face outside is like, oh, fuck me, what did you do? And here's where we get Wendy doing what she does most toward the end of this movie, which is running slowly and in the most lackadaisical, floppy way possible.
Oh, yeah.
She's
She's tall and lanky, dude.
That's the one thing I can take points off of her with Shelley's performance, though. Like, for Stephen King mentioned how he didn't like how Stanley Kubrick changed the Wendy character, who was pretty strong and, a smart, decisive, cunning heroine, some would say, in the book and into this nervous, timid, stupid woman.
Right.
And I certainly wouldn't say she's stupid, but maybe a little slow to make decisions and give responses. But she's not stupid, or at the very least, her instincts are good and she follows them. But the low energy of her just hopping along when she should be hauling as much ass as possible bothers me.
Right.
This slim, lithe woman should be able to bound around like a fucking gazelle, run on top of the snow like Legolas. Like, she should be zipping around this map. But when she opens the front door of the hotel here, to be fair, another behind-the-scenes thing, as they were filming this scene, Kubrick and Shelley were at each other's throats. Kubrick's outside trying to give orders like, okay, run the snow machine, and here we're fucking doing this and everything, setting the scene up, and he says, action, Shelley, and nothing happens. Apparently she was inside eating soup because someone had said, all right, never mind, we're not filming the scene just yet or whatever.
Oh, shit.
But when she didn't come out, Kubrick's like, dude, what the fuck? We're killing ourselves out here and you're eating soup? Fuck that soup. We got a movie to shoot.
Right.
He's like, he was so unnecessarily mean to her and, like I said, told the crew basically to be as well. So maybe this was all she had left in the tank, Shelley, come on, you got to sprint. She's like, I am. But Wendy opens the front door and runs out into this frozen alien landscape. Looks like we're in The Thing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And she runs over to the garage to take a look at the snowcat, and it's fucking all bad. The hood is still open. It's just torn to pieces. And the score right here sounds eerily like The Exorcist or Insidious, just these screechy violin sounds again.
Right.
She picks up a piece of the wreckage and just starts freaking out. There's no way out of this hotel now. Her and Danny's only hope at this point is someone coming for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good
thing Dick's on his way.
Yeah. We jump from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. here. Shit, we're moving now. And another quick shot of the hotel from the distance before cutting back up to Jack in the pantry, taking a little nappy.
Right.
And suddenly a knock at the door wakes him up. And I like how this mirrors a scene from the beginning when he's in the lobby with his lunch all around him. Mm-hmm. Here he wakes up and kind of winces from the pain in his head, but the camera pans out and he's just got open boxes of crackers with crumbs all over the place, Oreos, peanuts, and peanut butter. Both jars open next to him. He's like... He's got it sitting on a little cardboard box like he made a little tray table for himself.
Yeah, so in the middle of being all crazy and in this hypnosis and psycho rage shit, he's got time for some fucking Oreos.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
But he thinks the knock at the door is Wendy, so he calls out to her, but it turns out it's actually Grady. Oh, shit.
Yeah, what the fuck? Delbert?
Yeah.
The motherfucking ghost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack comes over and he calls out to Grady saying, oh, hey, man, how's it going? He goes, Mr. Torrance, I see you can hardly have taken care of the business we discussed.
Yeah, dude, Grady's here to collect. Where's your part of the fucking bargain at?
Yeah. No need to rub it in, Mr. Grady. I'll deal with the situation as soon as I'm out of here.
Right.
Oh, will you now? And Grady's talking shit, dude. He's like, I wonder. I have my doubts. I and others have come to believe that your heart is not in this, that you haven't the belly for it.
I'll show you the fucking belly, buddy.
Don't get my belly, Ricky. You don't get my belly. But yeah, damn, that's harsh. You ain't got the balls to kill a tiny child and a tiny woman, you worthless piece of shit.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
But now another reference people make to the Native American thing, the Calumet cans you see behind Jack's head here are all like fucking all whopper jawed and at different angles and shit, which the word Calumet means peace pipe. So the fact that they're all in disarray here might suggest the broken treaties and peace deals and the plight of the Native American experience. Okay, moving on. Jack says, hey man, give me one more chance to prove it, Mr. Grady. That's all I ask. And he goes, your wife appears to be stronger than we imagined, Mr. Torrance, somewhat more resourceful. She seems to have got the better of you. And he goes, for the moment, only for the moment. He says, I fear you will have to deal with this matter in the harshest possible way, Mr. Torrance. I fear it's the only thing to do. And Jack's like, well, yeah, fuck yeah, man, nothing. I look forward to nothing with greater pleasure, Mr. Grady. I give you my word.
Yeah, Jesus, dude. All right, I'll fucking kill her. Open the door.
Here's where we see the only inarguably supernatural thing happening in the movie, some people claim. And we hear the door unlock. Therefore, there you have it. Before, it's possible that all this was just happening in Jack's head. But there's no way now. We got ghosts unlocking doors here.
Right, yeah, Grady unlocked the door. I kind of said that too. Like, well, now you guys are kind of fucked. You can't do nothing now.
Right.
The fucking ghosts are helping them out.
We cut back to Scatman and the Snowcat driving through this beautiful little mountain pass, just wind whistling through the pines.
And it was far commute here.
And when we cut back to the hotel where Tony's scratchily saying red rum over and over again quietly. Stop shaking, Jason.
Danny's freaking out again.
Yeah, and Wendy is just dead to the world, trying to sleep off her fear and depression.
Oh, yeah.
Tony walks over And yes, I'm calling him Tony for the rest of this. Danny can't wake up, Mrs. Torrance.
Fucking Tony.
But, piloting Danny's body, essentially, he walks over and grabs this huge knife Wendy grabbed from the kitchen. Might want to keep the bat handy, too, honestly. More reach, at least.
Right.
But he tests the sharpness of the blade for a second, and it looks like maybe he's about to murder his mom.
That's kind of what I thought, yeah.
But then he turns and walks away to the vanity table in the room.
He goes for the lipstick.
Yeah, why was the lipstick open?
I don't know, dude.
Why in the fuck? Like, it's been days, at least, since Wendy's been in any sort of position to be worrying about makeup. Like, why is it just ready to go like that? Is this how she plans to snap back out of it and save her marriage? Like, hey there, sailor, I dolled myself all up for you.
Yeah.
Or is she, now that Jack is fucking a ghost, is she like, she's got one of these ghosts on the side now too? Like, if you can do it, I can do it, motherfucker.
Dude, she might.
She went up to the room 237 and had her first bisexual experience.
Probably the dude in the Winnie the Pooh costume.
Yeah, we'll get to him too. Anyway, Tony walks over to the bathroom door and writes red rum and lipstick on it, writing the back half of the first half of the word backwards from the D to the M is backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why will be revealed momentarily. Still holding the knife, he walks over and starts getting loud about it now. Starts yelling, red rum, red rum. And Wendy wakes up screaming herself and shooting up in bed. She takes the knife away from Danny or Tony or whoever the fuck he is and hugs him. That's when she notices what's written on the door, but she doesn't see the door itself. She sees it in the mirror.
Right. So
all those backwards letters are now forward. And the only backwards letters she sees now are the E and the R, which is where they all need to go, by the way. Speaking of which, it's like when you look in your rearview mirror, what if it was just the word ambulance written backwards on the door?
That'd be funny.
But let me tell you, Wendy's having a fucking time here. Let's recap. She's just woken up by her son, screaming red rum, whatever the fuck that is. And she also notices he's holding her knife, which he should not have.
Mm-hmm.
Takes it away, tries to comfort him, sees the word murder written in blood red lipstick on the bathroom door.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a huge bang at the door, which is when we cut to the hallway where Jack has started swinging an axe into the door to break it down.
Yeah, dude.
Holy fuck me, get me out of this nightmare.
I'm overstimulated.
So Wendy takes Danny into the bathroom and locks the door, clearing everything off the toilet immediately. Why'd you guys have stuff sitting on it like that? Shouldn't you be able to access the tank?
Sometimes.
But meanwhile, Jack's beating the shit out of this door, cutting through it little by little. And Wendy finally opens the window to get a shot of poor Danny, fucking absolutely petrified.
There's a tiny little window in this bathroom that evidently only Danny can fit out of.
Yeah, but she gets the window open. That's when Jack busts through enough of the door to reach through and unlock it. And he goes, Wendy, I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
And in the bathroom, Wendy picks up Danny, shoves his ass through this window, and thank goodness for this 20-foot snowdrift up against the hotel, because he's able to just like butt sled down it to safety.
Yeah, dude, it's the biggest snowdrift I've ever seen in my life. It's like fucking 3 stories tall.
Right, but this wouldn't have worked if that snow wasn't there, because their apartment's on the second floor.
Yeah, oh yeah, he would have fucking died.
Right. But I love how quick Wendy is here to act. Like the second they locked themselves in the bathroom, she ran straight to that toilet, cleared everything off. See, she's not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But now Wendy starts to climb through the window as Jack slowly hobbles his way into the apartment, but she gets stuck. And let me tell you something, if Shelley Duvall can't squeeze through here, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah, dude, nobody else is fitting out that window.
She's rail thin, has no ass, barely any hips. Bitch, turn your pelvis a little and angle your way through there. Ain't no way she's not fitting.
I was kind of thinking that too when I was watching. I'm like,
she's already got her shoulders through. That's the hardest part. That's why I always hated the Tatum killing Scream, because like her hips aren't wider than her shoulders, and if they are, it's not by much.
mm-hmm.
I guess the raising of the door changes things, but that's not, there's no way the fucking garage door motor's lifting a human-sized body anyway.
Right.
Any fucking way. Wendy cannot get through the window, I guess. So she tells Danny to run and hide. Also, I'm guessing because of the cold, the window isn't opening past a certain point. Maybe that makes it a little tougher.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, Jack makes it to the bathroom door, which conveniently now has instructions for him written on it. Ooh, red rum, don't mind if I do. But he knocks on it, and this is where we get the most intimidating nursery rhyme ever told. Jack gives the scariest 3 Little Pigs cover ever. And that's when Wendy grabs the knife again. And when Jack gets to blow your house in, he starts swinging the axe on this door too. And with every swing, poor Wendy just screams, huddled in the corner.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Completely fucked. She knows she's done for.
So good.
It's only a matter of time before he gets through. And there are some great shots as he finished knocking the panel out of the door. This is where we get him sticking his face in the hole. and saying, "Here's Johnny," which is a reference to The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon, which apparently Kubrick almost cut.
Yeah, dude, this was ad-libbed.
Bro,
Yeah.
one of the most iconic lines in all of horror. And this jackass wanted to cut it out. We might have never known.
I think he was saying he didn't think anybody was going to get the reference. So was he not?
Who didn't watch The Tonight Show?
That's what I was going to say. Like, you'd think everybody would.
Yeah. But now here's where Wendy fucks up. He is literally presenting his face to you with no defenses. Why don't you take that knife and just bury it into his fucking face?
Right.
Come on, lady. The mouth, the eye, the neck, incapacitate this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
But she does swipe the knife across his hand when he tries to reach in to unlock it. And I love his scream here. It sounds a lot like fucking Mr. Charles Lee Ray, Chucky for short.
Oh, yeah.
Brad Dourif screaming as Chucky sounds eerily similar to Jack Nicholson's scream toward the end of this movie.
Right.
So he's reacting to his cut hand and backs up from the door for a second. And we get a shot of Dick driving around in the snowcat, finally arriving at the front of the hotel. That's where Wendy hears the machine approaching outside. Problem is, Jack hears it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's loud as fuck, dude.
Yeah. Like a fucking tank driving up.
Dude, yeah. It's got those. What are those things?
Treads?
Yeah, the fucking giant. Those are fucking crazy.
Yeah. They both stop and kind of stare for a second before Jack turns with new business to attend to. And Dick drives right up to the front door and stops. That's when we cut back to Danny running through the service hall near the kitchen. And he glances around, taking glances behind him as he runs. And then he finds a cabinet to hide in. Not a bad choice.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I liked watching the behind-the-scenes shooting of this scene where Stanley Kubrick's yelling directions at him through a megaphone.
Oh, wow.
And just as he gets inside, we cut to Jack limping through the kitchen, so they came real close to crossing paths here.
Right.
Danny hid just in time. But we cut back to Wendy, still just crying in the bathroom, but she knows Jack has left now.
Yeah, she ain't fucking moved yet, though.
Right. But she tries getting the door open, but apparently it's jammed, so she whacks it with the knife in frustration.
Mm-hmm.
We cut outside where Dick is walking up to the front door, which is already open. Fucking Wendy never closed it, apparently.
Yeah, dude, the fucking heat bill would be through the roof.
How cold it would be in this whole hotel already.
Right.
But Jack stalks toward him through the hallway to the lobby. And this is the other instance where Dick is absolutely terrible at his job. Not the job of being a chef, but being a hero to this family and being a decent clairvoyant. Because he walks into this lobby and just starts yelling, "Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Is anybody here?
Hello.
Dude, what in the fuck? I thought you had The Shining, my dude. Why the fuck would you reveal your location immediately and choose not to reach out via your mind powers to talk to the kid?
Yeah, he's an idiot, dude.
Hey, what's going on, Doc? Where are you, man? Your dad's not nearby with an axe or anything, is he?
Yeah. He didn't stand a fucking chance here either, man. It's so terrible.
The open door would have been enough for me to be like, okay, I can't just approach this thinking I'm about to have another pleasant conversation with this family. Things are definitely wrong.
That's what I was trying to say. It didn't seem like he really had a plan at all. Because even if Jack didn't catch him off guard here, what would be the plan to begin with?
Dude.
Hey, Mr. Torrance, can you stop trying to kill your family real quick?
I just want to I want to talk a little sense into you.
Yeah, like, what do you, there's no, he should have went up there with a motherfucking gun.
Yeah.
You know?
But no, he does none of that. Instead, he just goes, yuck. Let me just mosey my way on in here. Hello, yoo-hoo. Hey, the dick is in the building, y'all. But Jack is still up above a bit. He started on the second floor where the apartment is. Now he's kind of halfway between the first and second floors on a landing, overlooking the lobby. And Dick starts to walk down the gold room hallway for a second, back into the lobby, and just slowly strolls toward his doom. He's bow-legged as fuck, by the way. Did you notice that here as he's walking?
No.
His legs form a perfect arch on the floor.
Damn.
But he inches his way through the lobby, past all these pillars. And of course, just before he reaches the last pillar, out pops Jack with another Chucky scream and buries his axe into Dick's chest.
Yep.
What a sad fucking way to go out for such a huge character in the Stephen King universe, dude.
He just didn't have, we didn't do a whole lot in this movie at all. I mean, he was kind of funny in the beginning, and then, yeah, this whole build up. Watch him fucking flying, checking in, calling all this shit.
Right.
Fucking does all this driving just to fucking walk in and die.
Yeah, dude, he does. There's absolutely no fucking fight put up whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it sucks for a fucking, he was in, like we talked about, he was in Derry in the book It. He's fucking all the way through to The Shining where he's a fucking, a cook at this hotel, and he fucking helped a ton of people, became the head chef at a top-rated hotel, and now he dies trying to be a hero, but failing fucking miserably without ever putting an ounce of a fight up.
Right.
Fucking what the fuck, Stanley? You did Dick real dirty. I'd be pissed if I was Stephen King too about that. Actually, Dick doesn't die in the book or the remake.
Okay.
And the hotel gets destroyed in both of those and does not here.
Okay.
Which I guess is better for a movie, maybe, leaving it open-ended a little bit. Like, yes, they get away, but there's still a spooky hotel here. Ooh, what's going to happen in the future?
Pooky.
Anyway, yeah, Dick is dead. Splayed out on the floor, sad as fuck. But the bigger problem now is that when Jack was driving his axe into Dick's chest, Danny sees it. He's not physically there to see it, but he shines it. Tony shows him. And of course, that causes him to scream, giving us one of the most menacing images in cinema. Jack standing up into the frame, and the look on his face when he realizes where Danny is fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And he stands there over Dick's bloody mess of a body and starts hobble running toward where he heard the scream come from and yells out, "Danny!" Like grunting and shit. "Danny boy!" As he rounds the corner to the service hall, that's where Danny fucks up. I think he should have just stayed in this cabinet, dude.
Oh, dude, I agree.
I feel like Jack would have walked right by him. The only thing that might have given Danny away is if Grady was like popped up or something like, "Hey, you might want to take a little peek-see in that old cabinet over there." But otherwise, I feel like it's a pretty good hiding spot.
Right.
But he jumps at his scary-ass dad's voice calling out to him, and he runs his little butt off around the corner away from Jack. That's where we cut to the weird shit in this movie. Back to Wendy, now out of the bathroom. She's running upstairs for some reason. I feel like she should be able to hear Jack's screams just like she could earlier when he was having his widow nightmare.
I was kind of wondering what was going on because you can see her going round and round up these fucking stairs.
Yeah, running like into the service lodging area.
Mm-hmm.
Calling out to Danny, running like an idiot, all floppy-armed. Now why is she looking for him upstairs? Last time she saw him, she was fucking Cool Runnings his ass out of the bathroom window.
Right.
And so why not check outside, or at least on the first floor of the hotel where he would have re-entered?
Yeah, it could be anywhere. I don't know.
But yeah. Anyway, she goes a couple flights of stairs up, and she starts hearing this weird chanting happening, and she slows down a bit as she looks through an open door into a room where a guy in a furry costume with a fucking ass flap on it, booty cheeks just swaying in the breeze, is bent over another dude in a tuxedo blowing him. What the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, I don't... Winnie the Pooh has
Yeah,
a
a little
has
bear
a
costume.
butt flap, and it's open. There ain't nobody back there doing nothing, but his ass flap is just open.
Oh, it's ready for when somebody's ready to do something.
And he's hunched over, oh boy, and then they both peek their head back into the frame like...
Yeah, but I mean, listen, dude, that turns out you don't really have to worry much about the ghosts here. They're just trying to have a good time. They ain't bothering her. She's the one that comes in on them.
What's with the... Butt flaps are cool.
We do a crash zoom on it like we did the Red Room door earlier, and Wendy's just like, fuck, oh, so sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, she's just as scared as we are.
But she backs away and flappily runs off so Tux guy can come in peace, I guess. But back to Jack downstairs, he runs to the front door and looks outside, just kind of scanning for a second. And then he thinks to turn on all the lights around the hedge maze. He calls out to Danny again, who's hiding behind the snowcat, but he fucks up again, giving up his hiding spot and running into the maze. He hasn't seen you yet.
Right, yeah, he took off right away. He probably could have danced around that a bit. But
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Jack cut on those fancy-ass lights, though.
Yeah.
The lights outside are a game changer.
That's true. He's zigging and zagging his way through this maze, trying to get away as far away from Pops as possible. That's when we cut back to Jack, who's just kind of slowly lumbering his way through, just like he's jogging as much as he can, but his ankle's fucked up, so he's not having the easiest time with it.
Right.
But here's the thing. He doesn't really need to be fast, because he's just following the fucking footprints and all this fresh snow in the maze.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Sneaky.
There's no maze in the book or remake, even though there is one at the Stanley now. Apparently it was put in 2015. But in the book and remake, it's topiary hedge animals that come to life, which is a pretty spooky part. There's one part where somebody actually gets pretty fucked up by him and almost doesn't make it. But at the same time, the 90s CGI on those things in the remake is not great.
Really? Yeah.
But here we're dealing with the Minotaur in the maze situation again. Jack is calling out to Danny almost as if a concerned father trying to rescue his boy from the cold, but not understanding that it's him that Danny's running from. I mean, I wouldn't come to him if I was Danny either. He's kind of just like unintelligibly babbling, not really saying words, just kind of screaming.
Right, yeah.
Like after a few lines here anyway, because he goes like, "I'm coming, Dad." But he follows Danny's footprints through the snow, cut back into the hotel where Wendy's running through the kitchen that's been overturned basically. Looks like it was ransacked.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But she runs out into the lobby, and here's where she sees dead Dick laying on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
We zoom in on it, and Scatman's pretty terrible at playing dead, turns out. You can kind of see his eyelid wiggling a little bit.
Right.
But she's fucked up about that, starts to run away. That's where all of a sudden there's another dude standing behind her. He's bleeding from a big old wound on top of his bald head, and he raises a glass to say, "Great party, isn't it?" No, apparently a lot of people misidentify him as Grady. That is not Grady.
That's not Grady?
No.
Oh, I thought that was Grady with his head blown out of the back of his skull.
No, I think this is Horace Derwent, one of the owners of the hotel back in the 40s and 50s, who lived a pretty flamboyant life of excess and hosted all kinds of crazy parties and shit. I think he's the one that started the whole masquerade balls and furry conventions situation.
Okay. Furry conventions.
They dig a little bit more into it in the movie, and I wish they had included a part from the book too. Because there's a thing in the book and the movie where Horace Derwent has this dude like on his hands and knees in a fucking dog mask, like barking and shit, and like he's leading him around on a leash and shit. And there's a part where Danny's by Almond's office in the book, and there's a dude in a wolf mask that jumps out, and he tells him he's going to fucking eat his dick.
Yeah.
And they obviously don't include that in either of the movies.
Right.
But yeah, she ends up screaming, running away from this dude. And we cut back to Jack chasing Danny through the maze. He's like, "Oh, you can't get away. I'm right behind you." Cut back to Wendy, who sees, I think, the silliest thing in the movie. She runs through the gold hallway back into the lobby, which is now covered in spider webs for no reason and a pale blue light cast over everything. But then all of a sudden, a bunch of skeletons start appearing out of nowhere, just fucking mid-party.
Yeah, that's what I said. What the fuck is happening?
And everyone's just sitting around enjoying each other's company, apparently. Interestingly, she's standing right in front of where all those pictures are hung up.
Right.
And if she were to turn around right now and look at the right one, she would presumably see Jack in the July 4th ball 1921 picture. Because he's always been here. Ooh. But she does not. Back in the maze, Danny's finally wised up and channeled his inner Theseus. What do you do when running from a minotaur? Retrace your steps, of course. As if he had a magic thread to find his way out, he starts walking backwards, putting his feet into the footprints he's already made, until he finds a little alcove to jump into, and he brushes the snow over to cover these tracks. And Jack is laughing like a fucking maniac running through the maze now. Back inside, Wendy rounds a corner to see the elevators, but just then, here's where she can see the blood pouring out of him, pushing furniture around.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Is she getting the shining too?
I think she's just finally seeing things. That's why a lot of people say the fact that Grady lets him out of the pantry is the only supernatural thing. Well, what about now when not crazy Wendy is seeing all these things as well?
Right.
But we cut back outside where Danny is hiding behind a hedge waiting for his dad to pass, and pass he does right on the other side. You better not make a fucking sound, kid.
Right.
But Jack follows his footprints a little further until he reaches the point where they just stop. And he's like, "What the fuck? I've been bamboozled." He's just fucking flummoxed, man. Calls out to Danny again and then just decides to start forging his way ahead. He makes a decision to turn right with nothing to follow now. And that's when Danny comes back out and follows his own trail of breadcrumbs, i.e. his footprints, back out of the maze.
Right.
And of course, that's when Wendy finally comes out of the hotel to meet him. And they just fucking jump in the snowcat and start making their way down the mountain. Jack's still stumbling through the maze at this point, just yelling out sounds. And I think his body's kind of starting to shut down because he collapses into the snow for a second. And he can hear the snowcat pulling away, but he's fucking just done for, dude.
Oh, yeah.
We watch the snowcat disappear over a ridge, and Jack has a little moment where he almost does a Leatherface chainsaw dance with his axe. But he finally falls into a sitting position in the snow, and that's where he stays. Literally freezes there. Like the face he dies with is crazy, which took me back to being a kid and stupid adults telling me, "Hey, don't make that stupid face. Your face will freeze that way." But fuck me, it turns out they're right. But yeah, he's just a fucking jacksicle now. And this is where we cut back into the lobby. Midnight the Stars and You is playing again in the distance, and we're just on this super slow zoom through the lobby where Wendy just saw those skeletons. And like I said, right behind where she stood is the picture we're zooming into. And it's a picture on the wall, been there the whole time, and it's a picture of a ball being held at the hotel, specifically the July 4th ball, 1921. And right there in front of all these people posing for a picture is none other than Jack Torrance.
Yeah, in the middle and the front.
Proving with photographic evidence that in one way or another he has indeed always been here.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And I guess this was a real picture, by the way. They took it and like scrubbed out some poor guy to put Jack in.
Wow.
But everyone you see in this picture here, except Jack, is a real person from the 20s.
That's crazy as shit.
And that's it, dude. Fucking fade to black, roll credits, standing ovation, bravo, encore, holy fucking shining.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
It's a good one. I
It's
like
a
it.
fucking great one.
Yeah.
One of the best ones.
Leaves you with a lot of questions, though, for sure. You know, I've seen this movie a lot.
Yeah, people fucking made a whole documentary about it, apparently.
What just happened? I don't fucking know.
Is it ghosts? Is it him fucking losing his mind? Is it cabin fever? Is it fucking what, you know?
Yeah, dude. Did he get sucked into the... He got sucked
Sucked into
off.
oblivion?
Yeah, sucked off into oblivion in the hotel. He's
Oh,
just
yeah.
always been here. So, is he Jack Torrance in the picture, too?
It doesn't say his name. It just shows his face, which is
Yeah.
obviously him.
I wonder, though.
Yeah.
As if he's not.
Oh, maybe he's fucking George Torrance?
Yeah. Maybe he's Grady. I don't fuck. Who knows, dude? A lot of it's weird. I love the movie. It's fantastic. But
Yeah.
I think there being a mystery at the end is kind of what makes it good too.
Yeah,
You know what
sure.
I mean? Like having all those questions. It's obviously we're fucking talking about it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
after 45 years, however
Right.
long, you know, yeah.
Right. So I mean, this is my favorite Stephen King anything.
Adaptation.
But yeah, you know. So I mean, this one, I'm not gonna say it's a 10 out of 10, but it's right there.
Yeah, it really is, honestly. It's possibly, maybe my favorite adaptation of Stephen King stuff. I also really do like It. Obviously, there's fucking Shawshank. There's The
Mhm.
Green Mile. There's fucking Carrie. There's all this glorious
Right.
fucking shit. But did any of them come up to the filmmaking standards of Stanley Kubrick? Arguable, you know?
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes has an 84% on this after all these years, which is great because the critical reception originally wasn't great.
Right.
It was originally released on 10 screens in New York and LA on Memorial Day weekend 1980, which was the same weekend as The Empire Strikes Back, actually. It was then released as a mass market film nationwide within a month and grossed $622,337 over the 4-day weekend. But since it was released on so few screens, it actually had the third highest grossing opening weekend from fewer than 50 screens of all time, right behind Star Wars in 1977
Damn.
and The Rose in 1979. And
Holy
it beat
shit.
out Empire Strikes Back that weekend easily, but mostly negative reviews from critics upon release. Janet Maslin, Gene Siskel, Roger Ebert, fucking Vincent Messiano, Kevin Thomas, Gary Arnold, all considered it a letdown, called it a laborious and dull effort, ripped Kubrick for ruining the book.
Mm.
The movie received no nominations from the BAFTAs, no Oscars, no Golden Globes, and it was even nominated for 2 Razzie Awards for Worst Director and Worst Actress,
Yeah, I saw that. Like,
which was
damn.
later rescinded in 2022 based on Kubrick's treatment of Shelley Duvall in the film. I find it really odd that a movie that was torn to shreds for years, but hung around long enough in the public eye to be reappraised later and now considered one of, if not the greatest horror film in history, you know, but indeed, not only that, but greatest films, period.
Right.
I'm definitely in the latter camp. Apparently the budget on this was $19 million, raked in $50 million at the box office. And they did, like, you know, we talked about the 1997 remake directed by Mick Garris. Screenplay on that one by Stephen King, much more faithful to the book, but not half the movie the 1980 film is. Well, I mean, lengthwise, I guess it's twice the movie at about 4.5 hours long,
Yeah, fuck that.
but it's way not as good.
Right.
There's Dr. Sleep in 2019, which was a direct sequel to both the 1980 film and the book. Mike Flanagan found a way to combine the way both things ended. And the hotel is destroyed at the end of the book and Dick Halloran survives. The hotel is not destroyed in the original film and Dick dies. In Dr. Sleep, the hotel still stands and Dick is dead.
Oh, okay.
But it should be noted that Danny and Abra Stone from the novel Dr. Sleep do visit the grounds on which the hotel stood, but it's now a campground.
Wow.
And then we talked about the Room 237 documentary. I highly recommend, if nothing else, than to just laugh at all the crazy theories and or jump in on the hype and develop some theories of your own. Gets kind of crazy out there, but some of the angles people take might not be that crazy. I wonder, though, when you were watching what you did see of Room 237, did you notice? Like when they were sitting down, they would show little dramatization scenes. It's like, oh, people are sitting down in a theater to watch The Shining.
Right.
Every time it showed someone sitting in the theater watching the screen, it was fucking scenes from the movie Demons.
Oh, was it?
Fucking Dario Argento, we covered fucking 1985's
Right,
Demons. It was
right.
just a bunch of that shit. Because I noticed it. The first one it shows is the blind guy sitting up in the balcony by himself while his daughter is out fucking making out with her little boyfriend or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, is that fucking...
Get
I'm
outta
not
here.
sure just yet. And I kept watching this documentary and they show more fucking more shots of people in the theater, and it's fucking Tony, the pimp, and his 2 fucking hoes.
What?
And then they cut over, and it's the fucking older couple, and they cut over, and it's the main group from Demons. What the fuck was that choice about? Why that?
How could they even... Okay.
It's fucking weird, dude. But there's also the shining forwards and backwards thing we talked about that everybody should watch. I think it's hard to find, but it's worth it if you get a chance to just check it out.
Right.
The spoof trailer that we talked about earlier. But, I mean, what am I going to say for takeaways and highlights in this movie? This movie is one big highlight.
Right.
It's cozy as fuck somehow, even though cold. Things I wish they had included from the book, maybe more of the specific history. Those old stories are always intriguing and spooky. There's a part where, I talked about the guy in the wolf mask that jumps out, but one of the more striking moments for me from the book, for whatever reason, I don't know why it stuck with me, but there's this old-timey clock on the mantle of the fireplace, I think in the lobby, and it's one of those clocks where it chimes and the little figurines come out and dance or whatever and go back inside.
Right.
But there's a scene where, I think it's Danny watching the clock, and these figures come out, and one of them starts bashing the other's brains in with one of those roque mallets, and blood actually squirts from the figurine, and it struck me as pretty fucking gnarly in my head.
Okay.
There's a quick reference to it in the remake, but not really much of one. But I mean, this movie is one that has withstood the test of time and is still talked about today, every bit as much as it ever was, for a reason. And that reason is everything about it is so rich and aesthetically pleasing, and puzzling and unsettling and off-putting and eerie. There's just so much to peel back and explore, and I'm sure even after watching this movie another 100 times before I die, there'll still be questions I'll have and little things to pop up and I didn't notice before. And will still be, I'm sure, people talking about it and theorizing about it, as well they should, because this is an absolute banger. Unparalleled cinematography, sound design, scope, tone, performances, mostly. And yeah, man, this is just one of those movies where it cannot go unwatched. If you haven't seen it, first of all, why the fuck did you just listen to this entire episode? Go watch the fucking movie for yourself. But if you know anyone that hasn't seen it, you should kidnap them and clamp their eyes open like Alex DeLarge in A Clockwork Orange,
Right.
and do that little eye drip, put little eye drops in their eyes every once in a while and make them watch it, because it's absolutely fucking incredible. I gave this one 9.5 out of 10 red and or yellow Volkswagens.
Volkswagen.
And I would recommend you fucking consume everything about this movie you can, dude. Own it, share it, praise it, check it the fuck out at the very least, because it's one of the all-time fucking greats.
Agreed.
Is there anything else to be said about The Shining?
I don't think so.
Well then, fucking thank fuck. Let's see here. We're over 3 hours into this recording now, so this is, I think our only other episode that rivals this length is fucking Leprechaun. So Leprechaun 3, somehow, how did we talk about that movie for 3 hours? I'll never fucking know.
It's a long boy.
But this one actually deserves all the care and attention paid to it. And there are multiple things, multiple layers to talk about. So, I mean, I suggested for a moment before we did this movie that, oh, hey, man, it's a real slow burn, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe some of these scenes we can kind of breeze through, because it'll take us less time to talk about it than her, walking all the way across this fucking room and nothing happening around it. No, I was way fucking wrong. 3 hour recording. Here we go.
Right.
But before we take any more of you fine people's time, let's fucking call it right here. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for hanging out, for talking about this very exciting movie. I was a little intimidated to do this, but I'm glad we did. And we're going to catch you on the flip side, y'all. Thank you for hanging out and listening. We had a good time. We hope you did too. And as always, remember, dreams are fleeting. Only nightmares last forever. Follow your nightmares.
Boy.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
I bid you welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Cinebytes Podcast. If you like what you heard, follow us on our socials at Cinebytes Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. It really goes a long way in helping us reach more listeners.
You can stream the Cinebytes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and many more popular streaming platforms and YouTube.
Questions or comments? Suggestions for future episodes? Contact us at cinebytespod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show and help us make it a better product for you, subscribe at cinebytespod.buzzsprout.com.
Until next time, keep following those nightmares.
I'm overstimulated.
Hey, Dad, I'm hungry.
Hey, Chet, I hope you're fucking dead.